names unless thank you very much.
All right, there you go. I'll start that over. Of course, we have Jamie, Mavly, Chrissy, known as Ellie the Paladin. We have Kess. Her character's name is Wid. Juliana plays Quinn. Abby plays Sudi. Maya plays Edie. Am I pronouncing that right? Edie?
Yeah.
Okay. And Nancy is playing Leonala. Is that a correct pronunciation of that?
Yes.
Okay.
And what class is Leonala?
Leonala is, yeah, there you go. You can say it.
Yeah, just fighter. Human
There's
fighter.
nothing just about a fighter.
So conveniently, we're adding 2 barbarians and a fighter to a group of not fighters. and
Oh.
With your hand invisible in this.
and a druid.
Blessed day.
Wid is a druid. What is her full name? Fretwid Bristlebrewer is the druid's name. Dwarven druid.
I love that.
Yeah, very clever. Okay. So for our sleeping individuals, I am sorry for what's about to happen.
Okay, as you said that, an owl like hooted right outside my window. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just pulling this up real quick. Where's my sleeping? Okay, sleeping heroes. Okay. As you're going through your watch, you feel your eyes get heavier and heavier. You try to stay awake, but it has been so long since you slept. You are absolutely exhausted. But eventually your eyes do get heavy and you fall asleep. An amount of time passes. You have no idea. You're unconscious. It feels great. You're
I love being unconscious.
As you dream, you're dreaming that you're back home. This is for Nona. You're back home. Your grandkids are around, they're playing. Your children are lounging in the house while the kids are out in the yard. And they come home and they found a stray dog. And it's a happy little. Whoa. Okay, thank you. It's a happy little dog that prances around the yard. And it plays with the children, and the dream is just fantastic. And the children come up and they're carrying the puppy with them, and they bring it up to you, and they put the puppy in your lap, and it starts licking your face, and you're petting it, and it's just a happy, super great dream. It's very wholesome. And I can see your face. You're like, oh shit, what's happening?
Don't trust me. I hate that you're bringing dogs into this. They don't deserve you. They don't deserve it. Even my dream dogs.
And you're dreaming, you can feel its wet tongue on your cheek. And it's a very wholesome feeling. Just a dog licking your face. And you slowly and gradually come to wakefulness with the sensation of this tongue lapping your cheek. And as you come to wakefulness, you realize that the sensation of the tongue licking your cheek doesn't go away. And as you turn your head to look to the side to where you feel the tongue licking your cheek, instead of meeting with the face of a puppy, you're met with an emaciated face with 3 hollow sockets,
It has a tongue.
and its tongue lolling out between jagged ivory teeth, slipping between them as it laps against your cheek. And as you turn and look at it, you lock your gaze with this creature, and I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. That's a 19 plus 4.
Oh, 19 plus 4. Okay. 19 plus 4. That puts you at a 23. You feel the piercing gaze of this creature as you lock eyes with what should be eyes, but instead, in the deep, emaciated sockets, you see a dim, glowing red light at the base of each one. And your willpower barely overcomes its paralyzing gaze as it lashes out forward and attempts to bite your hand. Because you passed the save, you get a dexterity saving throw.
Watch me desperately fail this next saving throw. Oh no. Oh yeah, and I have a -1, so that's a 2.
All right. So you manage to resist its paralyzing gaze, but don't anticipate this creature lashing out as it bites your hand, and you feel this black, you feel and see these black tendrils stretch up your arm from where it bit you. And then after it bites you, it cackles and bounds off into the thick fog of the early morning.
Okay. Do I get to roll resistance to disease or poison? Is it a poison?
It's not doing poison damage. You do get a save against this. So yes.
Okay.
And it is at advantage because you're a
It's
dwarf.
at advantage. Okay, that's a. Oh, is this a con save?
This is a con save.
Okay, so that's 12 plus 1, which is not enough. And then we have a 17 plus 1, which is an
All right.
18.
You managed to resist the toxic viscera or the toxic venom of the Silent One as those black tendrils start to seethe back down to the site of the attack.
I'm just willing the poison to just go back down my arm while I'm thinking holy thoughts.
You do, however, take 7 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's more than fair. All right. Ugh.
Okay.
Okay.
It is much lighter outside than when you remember. Significantly so.
Can I check on everyone and make sure they're all okay?
You can.
All right. Do any of them also look bitten?
Describe for me how you go about checking everybody.
Well, I don't want to wake them, so I'll try to be quiet. But I am wearing my armor.
Like creep around and observe them in the dim light, silently looming over them.
Did you put your armor on during your watch?
I did. So I have my
You
armor
did.
on, so I'm not going to be silent.
Not super
According to
silent.
speaking
Yeah.
pigs.
But I am going to try to be as respectful as possible.
Mm.
Did you make any noise when it bit you?
You said it was lighter?
It is daytime at this point.
Okay.
So we're talking, you estimate it's in the realm of like 9-ish a.m.
Oh God, I don't want to do math right now. So wait, how long has I don't remember when.
Natalie stayed up until 8.
Natalie? Okay, so it's been an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just examining everybody's skin for dark mark.
Okay, just like their skin that is showing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I imagine that probably isn't much considering it's cold outside and most people have bedrolls.
I'm also looking for visible signs of like new blood on the floor, viscera,
Okay, yeah,
general, just like, you know, the normal, the usual.
right. Yeah, so what you would notice, and this isn't new to you per se, the kind of dew that is settling from this thick fog is in fact, as it touches the ground, is creating this blood dew.
Right. Blood dew.
And it's essentially saturating the ground with this mixture of blood and mud, as
All
well
right.
as the recent rain.
Gonna pray over my friends a little bit, just to make sure that they're not having awful dreams.
Okay.
Do I see anything around outside?
So
Moving?
yeah, the fog is much thicker than it was, as well as the morning has kind of come upon you. The moisture in the air is, you know, kind of coagulating into this thick pea soup kind of fog, and your visibility at this point is limited to about 40 feet.
Oh, that's not much.
But in the immediate vicinity, you don't spot anything.
All right. Yeah, okay. This was all very jarring for Nona. She's exhausted. She can't really remember what she was supposed to do when it comes to waking people up. So she's just going to keep on keeping watch. Can I say I got a short rest out of my accidental sleep?
Yeah, I'll give you a short rest.
In all honesty, Z, that was a really, really wholesome and happy dream. I don't see why she wouldn't regain a sanity point or two. It was relaxed
except
and
that
happy.
it ended in trauma.
Yes, it did, but she didn't have any issues with, I mean, she handled that trauma really well. I'm just saying, puppies are nice.
All right, so what is Nona doing?
After she made sure no one was bleeding out.
Yep. No, it doesn't appear that anybody has sustained any particular injuries. Actually, make me a perception check.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. That's 6 plus 2. That's an 8.
8. Okay. With an 8, I think you would notice that. Do you remember the doll that Quinn found?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lying next to your bed. You don't know how it got there. It just, maybe Quinn tossed it over in the night. You don't know.
Is it just laying on its back?
Yep, just laying there.
I'll pick it up and look at it.
Okay. It's the same doll that you
Same
saw
doll.
before.
No, like needles sticking out of its chest or
Oh,
blood inexplicably falling
nope.
from its eyes.
Aside from what might have gotten on it from sitting on the ground,
Mhm.
nothing untoward. No.
Well, that's good. I'll I'll tuck it in next to Quinn.
Okay, great.
She needs a little bit more support there.
Is
Nona's
Quinn still
basically
sleeping
Terry.
outside?
Hmm?
Is Quinn still sleeping outside? Because she had been resting out.
She had, yeah, I was also sleeping outside, so she would have
Mhm.
been the first person I looked over.
Yeah, Quinn and Ellie were outside. Mhm.
I thought I was right close to Mavly. Or is that wrong?
You
No,
were by
Ellie's
Mavly when Mavly was on watch, and then Mavly went off watch while you were still sleeping.
correct.
I replaced Madly. I'm better than Matt. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably accurate in this particular instance.
Dwarven rivalries.
She's taking care of Quinn like she would a granddaughter.
Okay.
Kind of tucking her in and stuff. Walking around.
And how much longer are you gonna stay awake?
How? So Mavly went to sleep an hour earlier, and she did an hour-long watch.
I did 2.
She did 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess I'll do another hour
Another hour on watch.
on watch. Yeah.
Okay. And what are you trying to do? What are you doing while you're on watch for this hour?
For this hour, so after I make sure I've taken care of everyone, I'll probably patrol the sides a little bit. I will. Can I roll like a medicine? Can I like tend to my own wound on my hand?
You want to heal it or?
Can I do like a non-magical sort of healing?
Do you have proficiency in medicine and a med kit?
I don't have a med kit.
Yeah, so the answer is no. You don't have the proper supplies to treat it.
Okay. I would like to clean it and bandage it with
Okay.
like, I don't know, a strip of fabric from my skirt or something, you know, classic
Mhm.
action movie style. You know, grandma
Okay.
action
I think
movie.
doing that will probably take a good hour plus a patrol here and there.
Okay.
And I think for this, I'm not gonna make you make a con save to stay up.
I am in a lot of pain, so that tends to keep me
Yeah,
up quite a bit.
yeah. Okay, about an hour then passes, and I would like you to make another perception check. I believe you
Alright.
are still exhausted.
I am. Where'd it go? Yes. All right, that's a 12 and 17 plus 2. Okay, so that's a 14.
14. Okay. You, as you're out on your patrol, you hear some shuffling as if somebody is awake in the hut. You know what you might call a hut.
Mhm.
You hear some shuffling and you see some movement, but you can't make out what it is.
I'll hurry back to see who's up.
As you hurry back, and you look around and you take stock of everybody that's there. You look around, you see Quinn asleep outside. You look in the door and you see Mavly asleep in her bedroll. You look to where Sulan is sleeping. You see drag marks in the mud.
Great. All right. Um,
As if something just dragged her entire bedroll.
oh wow. Everyone else is accounted for though?
Yep, those that remain.
Okay. Um, can I see the drag marks going in a specific direction? I look in that direction. Do I see anything?
It seems to have disappeared into the fog. You can try to follow them.
Ugh. How far into the hour is it?
This is probably towards the end of that hour.
I'm gonna wake up Mavly.
Okay.
This was
Yeah.
Sulan or Sister C?
Sulan.
Thank you.
Sister Cavern's Fall is still asleep.
Mavly. Hey,
Yeah. Yeah. Is it? What? No,
it's been about 2 hours and something dragged Sulon in the woods, and I'm
you
gonna
made
go.
it 2 hours. That's great.
Yes, I did.
Sulan,
I
when
have to go. Make sure nothing else happens to everybody,
no,
all right?
hold on, wait. No. A lot of words fell out of your face just now. And
Keep
I wasn't
everyone safe
ready.
for me. I believe in you. And then she's
No.
gonna go.
Oh, that's a bad plan. Mavly's awake now.
She's gonna go follow the tracks, grabbing her shield.
Mavly sits up and watches her kind of run off, and she goes, "Sulan, shit." uh, uh, shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of walk out and follow her a little ways, but not. I'm gonna try to keep the hut in sight and keep my eye on Nona as long as possible.
Yeah, leaving Quinn alone asleep.
I can see the hut. She has a dolly that's been haunted by the silent one. Everything's fine.
We're a straight line.
We are. We're just a line of doom, and pain,
Okay.
and suffering. It's all good.
So let me ask you a question. If I were to say that there is an indefinite amount that you have to follow, at what point would Ellie and Mavly decide, okay, this is where we stop?
I would only
Well-
go about 20 feet from the hut. And then as soon as Nona kind of got into the fog and I couldn't see her, I'd be like, Ellie, this is stupid. You're tired of not thinking clearly. You're doing that thing that makes me question your sanity. Ellie, I will yell, get back out.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
I can't
That's
hear
it.
you.
That's it. Ellie, I'm yelling.
No, why? You said that
Okay,
happened.
you hear a
Remember what
yell.
happened last time?
Yeah,
You
I'm
can't-
totally down.
You hear a yell piercing through the fog,
Ellie!
and it is definitely Mavly.
Okay, but it wouldn't make sense that I wouldn't be able to catch up with this thing. It just left.
Well, don't justify it to me.
So okay. So I'm running and I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything at all. I
How
get 40
far is
Okay, so I
Ellie
get-
willing to run?
I get 40 feet. What do I see? Anything?
Fog.
Fog and drag marks.
I see 40 feet away from myself
Yep.
and then fog, right? Because
Yep.
you can see 40 feet in the fog.
Yep.
So I don't see anything but fog still.
You see the drag marks that are erratic, as if whatever is dragging her is not entirely like dragging her, but is rather carrying her, and parts of her are dragging.
You shouldn't be going that fast. Can I, what direction is it heading?
It's heading actually back in the direction that you guys came in,
Oh, that's great. I don't even know what that means then.
to the southwest.
Right. Uh, Okay, but that means that I'm going to leave town eventually, right? Like
Eventually.
we were just on the edge of town already.
No, yeah, you were on the edge of town, yeah. But beyond town, if you recall, there was like the kind of marshland, grassland.
Right, that had no fog in it.
No, it definitely had fog in it.
The clearing between the town and the woods
Yeah.
was still foggy.
Okay. But there
I'm
was
asking.
a clear spot. There was a clear spot between, because we saw from there was like woods, grass, and then a wall of fog.
No. The fog just got thicker. The fog was always there. It just got thicker as you approached the town.
Okay.
So it went from kind of like a hazy mist to like fog over darker or heavier fog over the city or town village thing.
Correct.
Is
Mhm.
that kind of what we noticed?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ellie hasn't stopped running.
Okay.
Um,
So I'll just assume that you're going to continue until you see something.
until I see something or I get how many, like, what is it, like 100 feet away from the edge of the, were we like 100 feet away from the edge of the town, or
You guys were closer to the edge of the town than that.
okay, so like
More
50
like
feet?
40, 50 feet.
Okay, so
It's not a big
I should be
village.
able to see the edge of, if I go 40 feet, I should be almost able to see the edge of the forest at that point.
No. So the forest, the town is in a clearing. So beyond the town is still like plains.
Okay, I'll go until I see the edge of the forest.
Okay, cool. As you're running through the woods, in the dim light,
Well, I'm not in the forest until I see the forest.
right, sorry, I said the woods, the field.
Oh, okay.
As you're running through the field, through the dim light, give me one more perception check.
Oh, okay. It's a 19 and a 17 plus
So-
2.
So what
Is
was the low one?
19. 17 plus 2.
Okay, 17 plus 2. Cool. As you approached what you estimate is about halfway between the village and the woods,
Mhm.
You do see a lump. How's the best way to describe that? A hunched figure, maybe, lying in the tall grass. You can't tell really what it is at this distance, though, but it is further along and tracks with what you think would be the direction that the drag marks led.
Okay. Is it moving at all?
It is not moving.
It's not moving? Okay. Well, then I'll just go up to it, I guess.
Okay. As you
Cautiously with my shield up.
Okay, with your shield in front of you. As you approach, you look a little bit more closely and you see that there is a clear wetness to the figure.
Love some wetness.
As you get closer and the figure becomes more and more clear, you notice that it is in fact a sleeping roll. It's a bedroll. And it looks like there might be somebody in it.
Well, Sulon's a big girl.
That is correct.
So if she was in it, then
it doesn't look like it's appropriate size to be Sulan, but it looks like Sulan's bedroll.
yeah. Well, so now I'm at the bedroll. Do I see anything else?
Nope.
Well, either this is half of Sulan, or this is something that's going to try and kill me. So I'll poke at it with the sword from a distance.
Okay. You have your shield out, and I'm envisioning this as like you're holding your shield in front and like reaching out with your sword.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
A sword and a warhammer. You're like a walking armory.
Oh yeah, you have a warhammer, not a sword.
Oh, I don't have a sword. Sorry. With my warhammer. My bad.
Okay.
And corrected. You're just a badass dwarven person.
Yeah, so you reach out with your warhammer, which by the way is only like 2.5, 3 feet long.
Yeah.
Um,
That's as far away as I could get.
yeah, so you're kind of, I mean, you're not terribly high off the ground anyway as a dwarf.
Correct.
So you reach out and you poke it with, I'm assuming the hammer end of your warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it kind of moves in such a way that you would expect like a body to move.
Well, I'm not turning my back on it now, but I don't want to find out what it is anymore. So unless Sulan magically got real small. So I guess I'm just gonna walk away. I'm gonna back away from it.
Okay.
But I'm still gonna look at it and see if it does anything as I walk away.
All right. As you back away, and it begins to be cloaked completely in the fog, you don't notice it move at all.
All right, I'll just run back then.
Okay. You arrive back at the group where
Excellent.
Mavly, Sister Caverns Fall, and Quinn are.
Mavly, I couldn't find her. I mean, I assume you're still awake. Did you fall asleep? Oh, you're mad at me
So
now.
upset.
What was I supposed to do?
Go to bed. You just lay down. Just take off your armor and lay the fuck down. Just for once. Just for once. Do something appropriate. I'm so upset with you right now. And Mavly just turns around and stomps back to and like she literally plops beside Quinn like a toddler.
Wow. Mavly, I know you're upset.
She doesn't
I
turn
was just
around, she
trying
doesn't move to look, nothing. Nope.
Okay. I mean, if you want to go look for Sulan instead, if you think you can do better than I can, be my guest.
Oh yes, it's all about you. No. Ellie. What we need to do right now is not panic. So obviously you didn't find Sulan.
What would you like to happen next?
I'd like for all of this to stop, but it's not gonna stop. So we need to let the people that can rest. And maybe if the sun comes out a little more, we can go look for people that need to be looked for. Because there's 2 missing now. 2. There's Cole and Sulan. The fucker that can get us to the kids, and the tall person that could probably help us actually see something since we're all short.
You know, I find that being short has its
I
advantages.
am really wanting some tea. We haven't.
Hey, we'll find some tea. I know what some tea looks like. Here.
There's no fire.
Would you like us to make a fire?
No. I don't. I'm tired. I'm not doing well.
I'm sorry you're not
And my
doing
tummy
well.
is upset. This place smells really bad.
It does. It smells very,
It's
very
getting
bad.
to me.
It does. It does do that. It
Why
smells
does
very
Quinn
bad.
have a doll in her arm?
Oh, well, I thought she dropped it, so I put it back next to her. She must have.
She wasn't sleeping with it earlier.
Do you want me to take it away from her? Because I can do that.
You know, we need to decide what we're going to do. So we need to make a decision on if we're going to try to rest and actually recover a little bit. And I think we kind of need to make this like a little bit of a group decision
Yeah,
on what to do. So should
right.
we wake everybody up real quick?
I think that we should keep Quinn asleep, but let's wake up Sister Caverns Fall.
Shit, we haven't talked to Sister Cavensfall about finding Quinn. And we haven't figured out why Quinn tried to, the Quinn-like creature tried to. Do you think that this is a good plan?
Waking up Sister Caverns Fall?
It'll be fine. Yes, let's do that. You do that.
I think
I'ma
it'll be
stay
fine.
over here in case she wakes up like you do sometimes with the warhammer swinging.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I go wake up Sister Caverns Fall.
Cool.
Sister Caverns Fall.
I think this is an excellent time to pick up with group 2.
Fantastic.
Okay. So you'll have to forgive the monologue here, just to catch you guys up. Some time ago, in the small, pious village of Illmaters Hope, suffered a terrible season of blight. Crops blackened and animals ill beyond care. The men and women of the village spent much of their time far from town collecting together what they could to feed their slackened mouths. Exhausted but fed, the men and women of Illmaters Hope slept well and awoke to the calming rays of the warm sun breaking through the chill of late autumn. Rested, they turned to face a new day, and one by one, the household screamed to find their children missing, 14 in total. And so it was that 6 able-bodied men and women set out in search of them. 2 days later, however, there had been no sign of the children, nor those sent to rescue them. Grieving families and restless frustration built into a near frenzy by the visiting nomadic spider clan that had been in the region trading furs and hides. Until Mayor Devlin Brighthope gave in to the fears that the first group may have failed. A second search party was formed. This one, accompanied by a warrior of the spider clan named Sudi, whose own brother had been taken. A strong-backed halfling named Edie Thistletwig, who had been in town helping with the construction of the church. Leonala, a human farmer who had always been one of the family's protector, who had always been her family's protector, often resulting in getting in brawls with the men her mother got entangled with. And a dwarf witch named Fretwood Bristlebrew, who had been rumored around the area to be a hermit who lived in the woods and practiced foul magics. The normal procedure concerning witches would be to stone them and throw them back out into the woods from whence they came. But this one claimed to have knowledge of what happened to the initial party. She claimed that she had followed them briefly until they were set upon by dangers. She did, however, claim to have knowledge of where they were headed. A forbidden, ill-stricken place deep in the Brightvale woods known as the Dead Pines. A place where few dared venture and even fewer returned to tell of it. A village near the entrance of a powerful place of evil, long forgotten by the small folk and long abandoned by the elves. A village only described by Wid as the village with the big gate. The group set out immediately after a heavy rainstorm and after the heavy rainstorm had eased up just slightly. Following the tracks left from the previous party, their march deep into the Dead Pines led them through unsettling but common sights over the next 2 days. Stepping carefully over torn limbs of great stags, their heavy boots squelch in the mud, mixed with blood, rain, and soiled dirt. Further ahead, the rest of the remains of the stag lie in the path, tore open and fly infested. Further along into the woods, they came across a campsite where the body of a dead woman lay in the mud, seemingly torn in half from top down. Two dead men whose throats had been torn out acted as a brief waylay on their path. Further along into the night, they encountered a second camp where once more, bodies of humans appearing as merchants lie in the mud. Beside some of them lay the smashed remains of what appeared to be brains, with only legs and protruding small tentacles.
What do you think these people are thinking as they come upon squished brains?
I can
We're
only
following
imagine.
the party,
Legs.
squished brains.
Shaken
Excited to
but
find them.
shaken but unwavering, the group continues to follow the tracks as the dense fog thickened. The scent of rot and bitter metallic odors stung their noses. Wid, using her magic, shifted her form into that of an animal after declaring that she would scout ahead and make sure everything is safe, leaving the three remaining standing at the edge of the trees. Ahead, only a thick fog is visible. Sudi, if you could introduce your character and what she looks like.
Well, I posted the picture in Discord.
Okay.
It's badass.
Well, she's grumbling along the track. I am Makusuri Imani, swing dancer of spiders and daughter of Kali Snake Slayer. We come to trade salt. We come to trade a pottery. And you steal my brother. I want my brother Chura back. You northern people, what is wrong with you all? Now he is lost up in your crazy forest full of humongous trees. I come chasing after wherever he can be, and your mud takes my shoe. I cannot even wear my shoe. Now there's this air all in front of me that blinds me. Point the way.
And beside her, we have Edie. What does Edie look like? And how is she feeling right now?
Edie is a halfling at about 78 years, which is like the equivalent, human equivalent of like mid 40s. So she's got this dark, almost black hair that's starting to gray. She's got this like medium honey kind of skin that is weathered and definitely has some wrinkles in it. Wearing just simple, sturdy clothing with some weapons in her pack. And she's feeling quite uneasy about this whole situation, but she knows that this is the only way forward to help save those kids. And she'll turn over to Sudi and say, now listen here. I know that your brother was taking up same thing that took your brother, took those kids from our village that we're trying to save. So if you could please stop blaming all of us, because we're all here trying to help each other get through this a lot farther and a lot better.
Who is it that raids your people?
I don't know. We have no idea. But that's what we're trying to find out. Now,
The raiders also leave the bodies?
Close to what I've ever seen.
And then walking alongside the two of them, we have Leonala, the staunch fighter. What does Leonala look like, and what is she doing or thinking right now? You're muted.
course. So right now she's a little bit quiet. She's not really one to want to get too involved with the concern right now going on. So she's just been listening to them, a little bit on edge and a little bit nervous. You could describe her as messy brown hair. She's human. She's in, let's just say, looks like she's in her 20s for now. Probably about 5'8", and she's kind of athletic, stocky build, life on the farm, et cetera, et cetera. Also, she does introduce herself as Lee, so if she had introduced herself, I would have just said my name is Lee. So she's listening in, and I guess she hears the concerns and is gonna ask, do you guys have any ideas of what could be going on right now? I think the best use of our time right now is to really just strategize what move we're doing next year. So
I
Search
have
for the
no
Vaders.
idea. Sudi, do you have any idea as to what could be around these parts?
I do not know what kind of people your Vaders are. I do not know what kind of things live in these parts or what animals you have. Do the Vaders leave the bodies or do the animals leave the bodies?
Well, this carnage don't seem to look like anything I've ever seen. Not human, not animal.
What is left?
Who knows?
it's definitely not something I would expect to see on the roadside growing up in these parts. Sudi, perhaps you could tell us more about your brother, and so we at least know what to look for. Because I'm concerned, and just some hints about him might help us along our journey.
He is a small child, only about 15.
Sorry,
Dark hair, such as I have.
I was under the impression that he was 5. Did that change?
No, only the way of counting age.
Oh,
changed.
right. Sorry. My bad. Ignore me.
What does he look like?
Well, dark hair such as I have, and he was taken at night. He must be wearing only a small garment. I hope he is not too cold. You have such cold air here. It is like the heart of the earth.
Yeah, and it's only set to get colder too, unfortunately. Best we could wrap this up quickly if possible. Can you remind me what race your character is?
Human. He's almost as tall as yours.
So he's actually 5 years old, or
He's 6.
okay.
But you don't know that.
Okay, that's good context. That's actually concerning for me as well. I actually have a younger sister. She's not among the taken, but you know, I just feel like with these things happening, you never know who's going to be affected next in the village, and hopefully we can figure out what's going on before anyone else is affected.
Okay. So at this point, the search party for the search party has approached a clearing. You've gotten to a point where the trees just kind of stop, and ahead of you, you just see an open field, except that there's a thick fog. So you don't really know what's beyond that field. You just know that the trees are ending at this point, and there is this field. However, the ground on the field, you notice that there's this thick mud, and you lean down to investigate the mud briefly, and you bring it up to your face to get a better view of it. And you notice that instead of being like regular mud that just looks like water, but rather there's thick blood on this mud, and it's mixing with that mud to create
What,
this
investigating
really.
this?
I'm sorry.
Which one of them is investigating this?
That's up to you.
I could be. I'd be looking for things to.
Okay.
And as you hold it up to your face and you realize that there's blood, and then kind of all of the sudden this like wave of stench hits you, and you're nearly overwhelmed by the smell of rot and decay that is coming from this area that you have arrived at.
And this is
Judy
on
makes a gagging face.
the woods.
Yeah, as you're kind of coming out of the woods into a clearing.
Okay.
Is the ground safe? Sudi sees you inspecting it and figures that's what you're looking for.
Is the ground safe? He said.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps you might want to take a look at this. This is just disgusting. I've never seen anything like this in the village. Something about it just makes me feel uneasy.
It stinks worse than manure. But can we walk on it?
How big is this area that's affected? Is it like a pile of blood, or is it like everywhere?
It seems to be a regional thing. There are some tall grasses, like maybe 2.5 to 3 foot high grass, that are coming out of small mounds of stable soil, but in between those is just this thick mud that has blood on it.
I poke it with my dagger, just the tip of it, and kind of look at it and see if it appears to be acidic or anything strange that I can notice.
Ah, that's one of us. I
As
don't know
you
what it is. I'm going to poke it with the stick.
as you stick your dagger into the mud, it slides in with that kind of wet, semi-metallic sound, very similar to sliding a knife into mud. And then you slide it back out with a little bit of a sucking sound. It comes out, your dagger is covered in mud and blood, but otherwise doesn't
Sudi
seem...
places 1 foot on it to test the weight.
All right.
Okay.
She's barefooted now because the mud before was trying to eat her sandals.
Yeah, as Sudi steps forward, her foot sinks, a good several inches, thoroughly covering the top of her foot with bloody mud. But it seems fairly safe to walk in.
She yanks it out and then places her 2 hands down and her 2 feet to balance her weight so she can walk across on all 4s.
All right.
I just kind of shake my head a little bit and go ahead and follow her. And if there's a grass nearby to wipe my blade on, I go ahead and just take a quick swipe to clean it off of it.
I'll just call up, "Hey, wait for me!" and I'll try to catch up to them.
Okay.
Okay, Sudi glances behind her. What does the dwarf, not the dwarf,
Halfling.
halfling
Got tiny
look
little
like?
legs that can keep up as well.
Yeah, what's the halfling? Are you walking the same way with for?
No, I'm just running with my 2 little stubby legs.
Yeah, it's pretty humorous as Edie tries to get through this mud, because it's actually coming up to her knees.
Do you want to ride, Edie?
I got it. It's fine.
Sure, this stuff smells real offensive. Totally open for it if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm all muddy. If I were to hop on now, I just look up your clothes.
All right, best what suits you.
As the trio continues through the muddy bog, I would like one of you can pick who, to make a perception check.
Preferably one of the taller folk.
I'm good to.
Are you good at looking for stuff?
Are we allowed to announce what our
Sure.
skills are?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, I've got +1, so I'm just kind of okay.
And +0, so.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do a perception roll then here. And I haven't played without roll20 before. That just goes through the log. Okay.
Yep. So all you do is you click on the stat and it'll roll it for you.
All right, that looks good. Came through for me. Oh, cool. Looks like I got a 20 with my modifier.
Yep, you sure did. All right, as you're trudging through the muddy mess, and your senses are pretty overwhelmed with this stench of decay and a very present smell of like sulfur. You notice ahead as you're passing through this thick fog, you notice a shape on the ground in front of you that looks like it might have horns.
Attached to a head?
Possibly, probably.
If I do try and stay close in the group and keep people close to me, and I'll notice if we're starting to
Are we
spread.
out of the mud now?
I think we're still in the mud.
You're in the mud. Yep.
Yeah. So assuming Sudi's within reach, I go ahead and kind of lightly try to grab her foot or give her attention to slow down.
Okay.
And then
Twist her head around.
Cool. And then I go ahead and point out ahead. I say, there seems to be a figure up ahead or something. Look right there. If you look closely, you can see some horns, and perhaps we should, and I'm saying this at a quieter but not whispering volume. Perhaps we should use caution.
Sudi reaches for her weapon. Kill it.
Yes. Potentially, yes. Let's check first, though. Let's just, we're looking for people here, too, so.
People with horns? Do your North children have horns?
I mean, I should hope not. You make a fair point.
Edie's gonna, upon having this pointed out, Edie's gonna pull out her mace and just sort of get in a ready position and stick by her compatriots.
Same with my great club.
Would they know that one of the first rescuers had horns, Z?
I will leave that up to them.
Okay.
Well, Sudi wasn't really listening very well to the explanation of the people who went before.
I would have wanted to know about that before heading out, and that probably would have influenced my decision of whether I went.
Yeah, okay. So the descriptions that you were given of the people that left before, you probably knew of them. I don't think maybe you knew them. Some of them you definitely would have known. I think you would have known Nona Ellie. She's been around Illmaters Hope for a long time. You definitely would have known Sister Caverns Fall. She's the lead acolyte adjudicating the building of the church. You probably would have been aware of Sulan, who is a satyr. In this world, they're called Leshen. And the reason that this is unusual is because historically Leshen would hunt humans and halflings and dwarves and gnomes for sport, but some of their society has integrated with the other small folk, and she's one of them. So she's kind of unusual in that regard. So maybe you have seen her around. I'll give you a history check if you want to make that roll. Additionally, there was one other dwarf, which you probably didn't know very well, and a gnome that you probably didn't know very well.
Okay, I got a 12 for the history.
Yeah, with a 12, I would say the horns have this semblance of familiarity to them.
Okay, then I'd also say also just a reminder there were people out before us as well, so let's just
With horns?
you know, I can't quite remember the full description, but just let's investigate first before we do anything rash, just in case.
Edie continues walking on all fours.
All right.
I go ahead and kind of flank instead of being behind Sudi. I'm kind of getting in a better position to cautiously move forward.
Okay. As the group approaches from various sides of this hunched figure, you get close enough to realize that this is, in fact, what appears to be a person. However, it's not a whole person. Rather, as you approach, you get a better view of it. You see the face of a female satyr contorted into the expression of terror. Her throat has been slit clean across. Her upper torso seems to have been completely torn from the lower torso. What would have been entrails seem to have long since been removed, perhaps torn away, maybe eaten. You do not see the lower portion of this individual.
Does it look like this has been something recent, or does this look like it's been sitting a while?
It looks very recent.
Sudi grimaces. This is how you North people treat enemies?
I would like all three of you to make a sanity saving throw, please. Just roll a d20 and add your sanity modifier.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
Okay, let me get my d20.
Don't remember if I've calculated my sanity modifier.
Just tell me your score and I'll tell you the modifier.
A d20. It's still on the floor.
I've got a 7 with a +1.
7 + 1.
8
What's
total.
your sanity score, Nancy?
Let's see. You start
Oh.
with a number, and if you have a complicated history, you may have. I think it said like.
Yeah,
30.
I have that number. I'm referring to the attribute. So if you didn't put any points in sanity, it's an 8.
Okay, I didn't.
Okay, that's fine.
I got 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay. 12, you take 15 stress damage. And what did you get, Maya?
8 total.
You take 15 stress damage. And what
That's
did you
a
roll,
lot.
Nancy? Just a d20?
Yeah, hopefully I keep rolling those.
Oh, you got a 20. How about that? Wait, no, that's your previous roll.
It is?
Or was it?
No, that's the
Oh, that is, wow, you rolled 2 20s. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The only one of you, as you approach and you realize that this is very likely one of the previous rescue party members, has been completely torn apart, most likely after having her throat slit. Sudi and Edie both start vomiting. You've never seen this level of absolute desecration of a humanoid before. Leonala actually manages to maintain her composure.
What does Seta look Like a cross between a human and a goat.
Essentially, yeah.
I'm mostly just kind of looking out into the fog and trying to maintain awareness while I kind of lightly touch or pat one of my partners on their back.
Zudi leans her hand against a tree while she vomits, but then the feeling of the tree is too weird, so she takes her hand off.
Edie's just trying to hold on to something and try and fail to keep herself from, feeling sick. And at some point stabilizes and just packs up with, well, should we give her a burial?
I don't know that we're super well equipped to do so, although typically we would. Perhaps we make a return trip once we figure out what's going on. This also looks
You
pretty
cannot bury, you could burn the body.
Yes, but I don't want us to attract attention. Look how she's squeezing. It seems that none of this is dried, and I'm concerned whatever did this may still be nearby.
If you throw the body in the mud, it will bury itself.
If this whole thing is recent and whatever's around is, or whatever did this is still around, should we try to find if there's anyone else out here?
As long as they don't look like this.
I have a quick question. Do we have any sort of aim for knowing, like, hints about where the children went, what direction they went, things that were taken, or anything that would indicate a direction that we're searching, or are we just kind of going out?
Yes, you have been following footprints. You've been following the trail of the previous search party.
Okay, well, perhaps, we came out here for a reason, so we may as well just continue ahead. I just think we should prepare ourselves for whatever may come next, as obviously they took quite the toll on this poor soul.
Bring the remains then?
I say we should, and perhaps make a stop on the way once we determine the threat level that will be.
Before we go, Edie would like to check and see if there's like any, I guess, artifacts or valuables or anything on the body, so that way we could return it to any sort of like loved ones.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do. As you begin to search the body, I would like Edie to make another sanity saving throw, because you can imagine how traumatizing it is to rifle through a completely eviscerated corpse. R.I.P. Sulan.
That is a natural 20, so a 21 total.
Very good. Okay. So what you find, as soon as I can pull this up. We try. Okay. So what types of things are you looking for? Describe, like, what would Edie consider of potential value?
Yeah, any sort of like jewelry or anything that looks like it would, anything that looks sort of like it would have been handed down, anything that like just anything of that nature.
Not
okay. Yeah, so around her neck is what looks like is likely a holy symbol. It looks like it has the symbol of the half moon crescent, which is the symbol of Illmater. aside from that, you get the impression that this person was probably killed in their sleep because they're not wearing any armor. There's no weapons. There's just basic clothing.
All right, well, at least I found something that we could return to our family, our friends.
You do notice, however, that her shirt on her back has been, it looks like deliberately torn open. And on her back appears to be carvings into the flesh of her back.
Carvings or symbols?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, you two, come take a look at this.
What do I roll to see whether Sudi can recognize it?
Please do.
I said, what do I roll?
Well, tell me what languages you know.
Common and Draconic, and not very well.
Right. You do not recognize the script.
Okay.
I examine it and just have common and dwarvish from what I picked up around the town.
Yeah, I've got common, dwarvish, halfling.
Common, dwarvish, and halfling. Okay. None of you recognize the language that it's written in.
We can tell it is a language, though, not like a.
Yep. You can tell that it is intentionally written. It's written in a circle.
I don't think Sudi could tell.
Well, perhaps we should sleep with our eyes open if it comes to that.
I can't do that.
Yeah, well, one of us perhaps can stand watch.
Edie's just gonna go real quick and put her hand on the figure's eyes and just gently close them.
All right. Group 1. You guys wake up Sister Caverns Fall. And she kind of looks in her sleep, as she's waking up with her groggy eyes, and looks at whoever it is that's waking her up. I imagine this is
It's me. It's Nona.
Ellie. Okay. And she looks up and she says, "Is everything all right?"
Yes. Well, everything is calm. Zulon was taken, but we found Quinn.
She starts to puts her hands up to prop herself up and looks at you with wide eyes. She what?
I don't know what took her, but I woke up Mavli so she could keep an eye on both of you while you slept, and I ran to try and find her, but all I found was her bedroll with a small creature inside that I didn't mess with.
Did you hear anything? What? How
No.
did this happen?
I was on patrol. I was just outside. I looked back, gone.
By the gods.
But we need to decide as a group whether or not we're going to start pushing forward or if we're going to try and rest more. So I figured we would let Quinn sleep because, well, we found her underneath a corpse in a grave.
She kind of has this completely aghast look because she had no idea that had happened. And she looks at you and then back at the group, and she says, well, we've lost 2 people. We have to find her. She's
we
got to be
in-
nearby.
I thought so too. I traveled all the way to the outside of the town, and there was no sign of her that I could find.
At
Other
this
than the
point,
signal.
I would like Mavly to make a perception check.
Are I at disadvantage?
Yep, you are still
Probably.
exhausted.
Mother puss buckets. Oh, geez Louise. 10.
10 is what you needed.
Yeah, it's a good day.
10, by the way, 10 is an average success. That's
Yeah,
10
but
is an average.
everything here is hard.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So as Lady Cavernsfall and Ellie are talking in, albeit exasperated yet hushed tones, you hear other voices coming from not your group, off in the distance,
Like
back
towards the
from whence you came.
back towards the inn. Z.
Yeah, well, kind of. Kind of. Yeah. Not exactly. So the inn would be to your south, immediately to your southeast.
Okay.
These voices are coming from the south, directly south of you.
Okay. Okay. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's not the inn ish.
More southwest.
Okay. Nona. Sister.
Natalie, what's wrong?
I hear something. And she points.
She points the direction that you followed Sulan's sleep roll.
I put my shield up. Maybe it's Sulan?
It sounds like more than one person. I don't think it was Sulan, unless she found somebody else. Maybe she found Cole.
Whoever it is, we don't have anything to gain by meeting them out in the open.
Suggestions? Do we leave Quinn sleeping?
No, we wait here. Wait for them to come to us. If they attack us, we'll defend our position.
Okay. I'm going to wake up Quinn and get her ready.
Okay.
So Mavely's going to nod to Sister and nod to Nona and wander outside. Quinn. Poke. Quinn. Hey, Quinn. Psst. Quinn. Does Quinn have her dagger in her hand?
Yeah, it's actually kind of weird. She's almost cradling it.
You know,
You rejected the doll.
some people sleep with dolls. Then there's my Nomi. Okay.
So she wakes up and she hears the voice, but she also smells the fresh blood on her dagger. And she wakes up sweetly to the sound of Mavly's voice, but she also wakes up a little sweeter to the smell of blood.
Oh, are you sniffing your dagger? Yes.
No.
You know what? Important things
I
happening.
was dreaming
Important
of
things.
clean laundry.
That's pleasant.
It
And
really
Mavely
was.
looks down and realizes we're in like 3-day-old clothes. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, there's
It
voices.
was such a sweet dream.
We deserve those right now. Voices to the southwest. We're not sure Sulan is missing. We're not sure Cole is missing. We're not sure. Children still missing. Not sure. And we're really not sure what happened to you either. So I'm going to need you to just focus on the here and now in case whatever the voices are is not clean laundry.
I feel like, well, good morning, Mavli. Good morning.
Good morning, Quinn.
I feel like you just threw a lot of stuff on me to not focus on, that I'm having a really hard time trying to focus on what you told me to focus on.
Do you know what I would like more than anything in the world right now?
Clean laundry.
Tea.
Yeah.
But you know what I got right now? Voices coming closer to camp. A tiny bloody gnome. A Nona and an angry sister.
My.
Missing Sulan and a missing asshole. Not mine, like literal, like coal.
Mavli, I'm afraid you woke up sounding pretty angry as well.
That's probably
I wish
accurate.
I had some tea with me. These voices,
Let's
are
go
they
talk.
far? Are they friendly? We're going?
I am not a bat.
I do not think you look like a bat.
I don't know how far they are. My echolocation is bad. And the only one that might have echolocation was the horny one, and she's gone.
We're going to look for her.
We're going to wait for the voices to get closer in case we have to kill them. Which is a sentence I never thought I'd say without having tea. Quinn, I'm
Yeah,
having
this
a
is the
bad
first time I'm
day.
hearing voices too. Definitely.
Okay, so let's hide, prepare an ambush maybe. I'm not good at this. Let's ask those two what to do.
That's a good idea.
Sister Nona.
Sister!
Wow.
All right. We're gonna stay calm and
Behind
quiet.
Mavli. Because not her sister, but I'm afraid.
Navlee's just gonna put her hands out on her, look a little big. Everything's fine. What do we
Sure
do?
it is. We're just going to hold our position.
Sister Caverns Fall is frantically trying to get into her armor. And
And
it's
Sister
kind of
Caverns
it's kind of funny watching her. She's got her chainmail half over her head and it's
Can I
like
help her?
tangled in her hair.
I'm going to help her.
What
Okay.
race is she?
She's a dwarf as well.
She's a dwarf.
The dwarven crew.
We were going to be all gnomes, but then it switched into oops, all dwarfs.
Oops, all dwarves. All right, so you're helping Sister Caverns Fall get her armor back on.
Yes,
And Mavli and Quinn are doing what?
I'm
you can also
standing in
help.
front of Quinn, who is
Okay,
hiding
standing in front
behind
of
me.
Quinn, looking
Quinn,
ferocious.
No, there's ferocious. She's looking awkward. We
Mhm.
could, while you finish getting ready, maybe we could kind of try to be a little sneaky. And how do you feel about being sneaky, Quinn?
Oh yes, I feel very well. I think we could definitely do that. Would you the spot seems very thick. Would you like me to run or crawl ahead and see what I could see?
You know, we're just gonna go that way while you guys get ready. And if we scream a lot, please save us.
But probably we won't scream because it'll just be good.
I don't know if that's a good idea because, and I'm like helping Sister Caverns Fall. I don't
would
know
like
if
to
that's a good
point
idea.
out, you guys, that if I heard them, they're probably closer than like 30 minutes out. I don't know how you guys do this.
30 minutes would be great, so that we can all put our armor on.
Okay, Quinn,
Let's
we're gonna go
not-
make a distraction. Let's go.
No. They'd look. We just have to wait.
And they're gonna come here. Okay.
Yeah.
Quinn, we're gonna stand on the outside of the hut and watch.
Nope,
No, we're
you're
gonna
gonna
stand
hide.
behind the rubble and watch.
There you go.
Wait,
And-
so we're all gonna be in one space
No,
these
we're gonna
voices
go
become
find
closer
other
to us?
rubble, and they're gonna be in this rubble. Okay,
Or
so
you could
I'm
stay
gonna
with
go
us.
one way, and Quinn can go the other way.
Should we go behind the gravestones or like by the inn or
You don't need to go anywhere. You just have to stay here until we all have our armor on.
Done.
ambushing?
All right.
We're bad at
Do
ambushes.
I get a long rest, Walter?
Actually, no. Team 2. As you continue venturing
Please don't
into
say
this clearing, you begin to sweat as the temperature goes from cold to oppressively hot. Sudi, probably not so much. You're used to the heat, but this is like humid. It's like oppressive
Sticky.
heat. And then there's the fog. So with the fog added to the heat, it's just like condensing immediately on your skin and causing you to sweat. Adding on top of that is this horrible, horrible smell of rot that is just coming with this moisture, and it's just covering your entire body with this smell of rot. You do see, as you're about halfway through the clearing, you spot these shapes start to appear in the fog. One looks like a large 2-story structure. One is a smaller one, just to the left of it. And I think since you guys were being intentionally, after you found the body, careful, I think you would hear this sound of hurried whispers. There's definitely a sense of urgency to these whispers.
I
And
love you so much for
and
that
I'll-
right now. I cannot tell you.
and I'll let you take it from there.
When Sudi hears the voices, she rushes out toward them.
Oh,
And does
great.
she see them?
Sudi, wait.
So Sudi charges out towards the voices. So what you guys see is a human woman
With her weapon, Ron.
with a naginata, a large stick with
Basically a
a blade at
blade.
the end,
Oh,
charging towards you.
And she shouts, are you the Vaders who stole the children, the Vaders who killed the horned one?
ha ha.
Like, now wait, Sudi.
Hold on, I said wait up for me. Just
Do we recognize any of the voices from town?
Don't think so.
I don't think Nona would be like listening for voices from the town. That'd be the last thing she would expect.
I think Sister Cavernsfall would recognize Edie's voice, because Edie would have been working pretty closely with Sister Cavernsfall in the construction of the church. So when Edie shouts to Sudi, I think Sister Cavernsfall would perk up and be like, I recognize her.
You recognize this woman?
Sister Cavernsfall looks up, sees Sudi rushing towards her, and immediately reaches for her shield and her warhammer, getting ready. I
Yeah,
don't
my
recognize
shield is up.
We're not
Who-
raiders.
Who are you?
It's an excellent question.
When immediately busts out, I just wanna be okay, be okay, be okay. I just wanna be okay today.
Me
Sudi
too, girl.
lowers her weapon a bit. These don't
That's
look
such a
like
mood.
dangerous Vaders.
I catch up and try and not super forcefully, but hold her back by the shoulder a little bit, like, hold up. Can you just stay with us?
Did you say killed the horned one?
Yes.
What did you mean?
The one with the horns. Have you seen them before?
I look at Mavly. I look at everyone.
DM, at what point would I show up meeting the rest of the party?
Yeah, that's up to you.
I'll try to catch up as quickly as possible, and a little bit out of breath probably, and just go. What happened? Are we all fighting? Are we all on the same page? What is going on?
We did find a body along the way. I'm sad to say.
As Edie arrives, Sister Cavernsfall will lower her shield and say, "Oh gods, Edie, what are you doing here?"
Sister, I came with the we had a second rescue group. We hadn't heard from y'all or found the kids yet, so a few of us set out to look for y'all and the kids.
You're here to help?
Well, yeah, oh no. The one that we found someone. Was she part of your party? And I'll produce the symbol of a martyr, and I'll just say, she had this around her neck.
Sister Cavernsfall reaches out slowly. You can see the tears welling up in her eyes as she takes the holy symbol, and she seems to be very choked up at the moment. And she looks back at Edie and says, "Yes, this was Sulan's. You said you found her?"
Yeah, we well, Lee here found her. A little ways off that way, and I'll just point in the direction. Well, Sudi and Lee found her.
Some of her?
Sort of see. I'll just point in the direction that we found.
Can you take me there?
Well, we'll take her there, right?
Sudi folds her arms like she's not going back there.
We could, but I must say, whatever happened seemed to be quite dangerous. And recent, from the guess of it.
It wasn't pretty.
Oh, Mavely kind of gestures. None of this is pretty.
I know. I'm just.
Even your lake is in your air.
How did you find us so quickly?
We've been following foot. It hasn't been that long, right?
It's been 2.5 days.
Okay.
You left your trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've just been trying to see where you all went, really.
All right.
Did we lose time, Z, or is this just like gaming magic?
No, you lost time.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean 2.5 days? Like, how did you catch up to us if we've only been gone 2.5 days?
How long have they been gone?
They have, for you, they've been gone over 3 days. Close to 4 days at this point.
Sudi shrugs.
Wait.
Someone is ignoring the sun. She looks up but doesn't see the sun and suddenly figures out why they'd ignore it.
It's not only the sun. We've been very well aware of the night. It's been a long time that we've been awake. See.
Sudi looks at the little gnome and then at the dwarves and realizes that there's a lot of non-humans here. She holds up her hands and said, "Not all fingers are the same." And then she pokes Quinn with her pinky.
Well, I like a good poking game just as much as the next person, and she pokes her right back.
This is exciting. So, okay. Well, on one hand, great. So you're from the Hope? You're from Illmaters Hope. All of you?
No, I come from the desert.
Didn't think I'd seen you in town before.
Never been to town before. Never had reason to. But
Not that
someone
I blame
stole
you.
my
Elsewhere as
brother, and I
well.
will have him back.
You're missing someone too.
Trevor, have you seen him?
We found evidence of tracks, but we had to stop. You can only go so far before your body just stops.
What do you mean by that?
We're freaking exhausted.
We haven't
Go
been able
sleep.
to sleep in days.
Perhaps we could take a watch and allow you all to rest.
Any of you healers? I have a very sick stomach.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Sulan was.
Sister Cavernsfall looks at you and says, yes, Sulan was a cleric of Illmater. Which is why I'd like to give her proper last rites.
Sister Cavernsfall, I don't think that it's possible to give her last rites here.
She was in real bad shape when we found her. She also had something we couldn't recognize what it said, but it was, pardon me for saying, it was carved on her, some weird, creepy, circular script.
What did it look like? Could you draw it for me?
No.
Edie will try to do her best. Like she'll try to draw it out as best as possible from.
Yeah, like
the-
draw, kind of like draw it in the
What
dirt.
is it to spell?
Yeah,
Yeah.
amid
Okay.
bouts of
Make
flashbacks to that and feeling sick again.
make a performance check to see if you can accurately recreate the script.
Okay, cool. A 17.
All right, you do a pretty good job, and what results is this circular script that looks very much like an image that I posted in Discord.
Like your shirt,
Yeah.
maybe.
Also, your shirt looks like it's actually glowing, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It looks very much like that. The script kind of going around like that. Yeah, and you write it and she looks at it and says, "This is infernal."
You know, I'm so sorry that. Oh, that's some bad news.
I think she looks back towards the town square, and the group 1 people will recognize she's looking back towards the headstone.
stone.
She says, "This is the same script that's on that headstone."
You can't read
What-
either one.
What did Cole translate it as? He said, what did he say? He said he tastes your scent, he waits for you. Do you seek him?
Absolute garbage. Just
Anyone who tastes our scent is a snake.
Oh, she's right,
Absolutely.
literally.
it's all nonsense. It's just what insane people have been writing.
I mean, from a
And-
certain point of view, other religious texts could be seen as nonsense and insanity, depending. I'm just
This is no that it's not the time, Natalie. It's not the time. We need to go collect our friend.
okay.
And Nona kicks the ground where you drew the stuff to like scuff it out.
Can't we find the children first?
I do think that would take priority. What's done is done. I don't mean to say so carelessly, but if time is of essence, it might be wise that we make haste.
Do you think it will take a lot of time to go pick up the pieces of somebody?
Depends how many you can carry.
In this case, it could be difficult. Plus, if we were to encounter whatever did that in the first place, it could take some time and be very dangerous indeed.
Sister, would her symbol be representative enough? Wouldn't the god of suffering understand?
She sighs. She's still clearly upset about this. And she says, at the very least, we can't just leave her out there.
You had already said that we should rest more while you watch.
We can always return as well.
What's the difference between letting us rest and letting us go pick up our friend?
Well, one we rest and the other we're burying somebody. So one is rest and the other is putting someone to rest. It's very different.
I meant time-wise.
We can do it later, I suppose. It doesn't have to be right now.
If we don't gather her, something else is going to get her first.
What if someone else gets the children? Like,
Cole already said they're dead.
oh yes, and I definitely believe a raving, dehydrated madman.
How long would it take to put her to rest?
We don't even need to dig a hole.
Maybe an hour.
There's already a hole there. Can we not collect the pieces and bury her?
You want
and
to
do
bury
the
her on
safe-
unhallowed ground?
I don't think she
There
would be
isn't
very
any other
comfortable
kind
with
of
that.
ground.
I think she didn't like being on this anyway.
Okay, so you're saying that we should spend more time.
I'm saying we find the children first and then go from there.
And perhaps
Can
allow
we
you
not
to
just
rest
pick her up and put her somewhere safe first?
Dave?
Sorry, what was Nancy saying?
Yeah, sorry, Nancy.
Oh, no worries, you're good. Perhaps it would be best to allow you all to rest as well. Clearly, the last few days have been hard.
Why would it matter if she is safe? No harm can come to her that has not already.
We don't want to lose more as time goes on as well. I think our priority should be keeping yourselves safe. And
I really don't know how to argue with you about the importance of honoring a dead comrade.
Not saying it's not important, just wondering what would your friend wish that you prioritize now?
She'd probably not want to be further mutilated.
Have you met Sulan?
You know, she had a really rough couple of days. You know, she got hurt a lot. And I don't know if you guys saw in her pockets or what you did, or she had a healing potion with her. Not that would fix anything, but maybe we could think of the positive things, like her meat might help keep the animals alive, right?
What animals are there?
Well, we haven't seen any nice
Abominations.
ones yet, but
They're all abominations.
It is worth noting that Sulan's belongings are all here.
Okay, so even the health potion and her money and...
Everything Sulan had is here.
Right. Right,
Look, I
because she took
say
it
if
off.
it'll only take,
Sleepy.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt,
No,
but
go right ahead.
if it'll only take an hour, you know, what's the harm in just taking that one extra hour to let them mourn their friend and give some last rites?
It seems risky, but if the group wishes for it, I'll support you all.
You found her outside of the village, right?
Yeah, she's along the way in the mud.
Did you see a bedroll?
No,
No, you didn't, right?
no beds over there. No, no rolls either.
If she was
God, I love your character so much.
she was potentially sleeping, there wasn't a bedroll, or was there?
You
There
didn't
was a bedroll.
see a bedroll. Ellie did see a bedroll.
I went out there to try and find her, but all I could find was her bedroll
Oh, okay.
with some creature inside.
Hi, Cass.
Hi, Cass.
Hello.
Hi.
We'll pull you in just a second.
Mr. Cavan's fall, you know Illmaters wishes more than anyone. What do you think?
Well, if this is unhallowed ground, so at the very least, we should take her to the edge of the forest and bury her there.
Is that hallowed ground?
It's not unhallowed.
It's not unhallowed.
How do you unhallow a hallowed ground?
We'll tell you on the way.
It's not a pleasant process.
So we could potentially bury her where you found her, since that's not here.
Probably. Where did you find her exactly?
Next to a pit of mud.
Down yonder that way. I'll just point out to her.
How far back? Like, how long did it take y'all to walk this? Oh, I'm gonna pick up your accent really quick.
Sister Caverns Fall, seemingly determined at this point, walks out towards the center of the town square, grabs the shovel, comes back, and says, "Take me to her."
Sudi admires the shovel but doesn't move.
Sorry, what was that?
Sudi admires the shovel but doesn't move.
Nona,
Oh,
did you want to go take care of that and we can pick up the sword?
oh, right, the sword.
The sword? What sword?
There's a
Um,
sword in a grave on top of a coffin. It's fancy.
It's adamant.
Mithril.
Adamantite? Oh, it's mithril. It's
Why
mithril.
did someone leave a sword there?
That's my question, but I don't want anybody else to find it either. And I'm short, so I can't, it's very far down.
Let me try.
All right. Well, take me to where Sulan is. Somebody, please.
I love that we got the party
I'll take
together
her.
and we're splitting the party. Sorry, Z.
She's not that far away. It's only like 80 feet. So
Except, has the fog lessened at all?
no.
All
No.
right.
And Sudi's still swatting at it.
Edie's
Okay.
gonna go with Sister C and lead her over to the body and just
All right.
call her
great.
out. Anyone else coming with?
I'm coming.
I'll go ahead and stay with the group.
Okay.
Mavely's gonna pat Nona on the shoulder. I'm sorry.
Sister Caverns Fall looks over at Ellie pleadingly.
Oh, I'm coming with you.
Okay, thank you. So the three of you head to the southwest out of the village towards the eviscerated corpse of Sulan. On the way, you approach once again. Nona, you see where you had gone, just a slight detour off where these new individuals came in. You do see the bedroll. Slightly off to the left is where Edie is leading you, and you find the rest of Sulan. At this point, I need Ellie to make a sanity saving throw.
That is that at disadvantage?
That is not at disadvantage.
Okay, right, because it's a saving throw. All right, so that is 18 plus 2. So
Okay.
it's a 30, 20.
Seeing Sulan in the condition that she is, her body literally torn in half. It impacts you, but
Yes.
you've seen a lot of carnage in the last few days, and you're able to fortify your stamina, I guess, and manage to maintain your composure. And the three of you pull the pieces of Sulan together, and using the shovel, dig a hole, after which Sister Caverns Fall and Ellie combined perform the last rites of the Church of Illmater on the body of Sulan. In the meantime, what are the rest of y'all's doing?
I'm trying to get that sword for Mavli.
Okay.
So I guess she leads Sudi there.
Look, this place is extraordinarily strange, but I assume you've had an extraordinarily strange day anyway. Come on.
Sudi nods.
Mavli turns and walks towards an open grave and as you walk further into this town, it looks like what once was a town square, but it's kind of been turned into a makeshift emergency graveyard. There's a lot of like little mounds around.
Well, what Sudi sees is a bunch of hills and stones and stuff, and it has no meaning to her.
Perfect.
What you see is the remains of what looks like used to be a village that has been burned down. There are a multitude of semi-fresh, rotting corpses lying on the ground. All of these corpses are either human or elf. There are carts full of bodies. In these bodies are writhing maggots, centipedes, earwigs, causing the actual masses of these bodies to seem as if they're moving.
Okay, that would bother Sudi.
Kess, what animal shape is Wid in right now?
I'm actually looking that up right now. Because I was thinking it needs to be something that she's seen before. And she probably prefers the bear form, but I don't think that I can achieve that challenge level yet.
I think you can. Because
black-
you're Circle of the Moon, right?
Yeah, according to my sheet here, it says the challenge rating is 1/4.
Because you're Circle of the Moon, you can go up to challenge rating 1.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't showing it. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that. Well then, sweet, because my preferred is brown bear.
Okay.
Has Sudi seen her in this shape before?
Yes, you saw her turn into this shape.
Okay.
As you go over towards the grave, is everybody going to the grave or just the two of you?
Quinahawk is too.
Okay, and Quinn? What about...
I'll go as well.
Okay, great. As you're moving over towards the grave, you hear like a low growl, and you look over and you see the shape of a large brown bear coming towards you from the northeast. Kess, you had gone ahead of the group, like I wrote to you. You had gone ahead of the group to investigate, except you went to the gate. You didn't see anybody there, and so you've been backtracking since. And so you approached in the village, which you know previously is infested with undead. And so you were approaching back, and you heard voices and so you are kind of like doing that warning thing that bears do. So there you go, and you see a dwarf, a gnome, a human, and another human.
Walks into a bar.
Yep. Walking into a bar, walking into a graveyard.
So the village that I knew had been littered with the undead, was that this village or the village
That
of
is
the gate?
that is the one you are at. This is the gate village.
Oh, okay. Where I'm at now. Okay.
You are in it now. Mhm.
All right. I think I'm up to speed. So I guess what did I discover at the gate?
You saw what you saw before.
Okay.
The gate has not changed since you were there previously.
Have I shared the rubbings with the group? Just knowledge that they have.
No.
Well, I don't think my brown bear has pockets, so I will turn back into my dwarf form, and I will present the group with the rubbings that I took from the gate in a language that I do not understand.
So those of you who are not of the druid sort see a brown bear shed its form, its limbs kind of withering away, and the fur parts splits apart, and inside of this is a female dwarf. What does Wid look like?
I was trying to figure that out, and I think she kind of looks like a dwarf version of Agra from Dark Crystal.
Amazing.
If you remember her. You know,
She's my hero.
slightly more dwarven, less whatever she is. But yeah, Wit is an older dwarf, and lots of layers, natural fibers. Everything that she's wearing, that she eats, that she creates, she knows every step of the process. She's been a hermit. She's lived on her own for hundreds of years, essentially.
Upon
So-
seeing her come, Sudi looks down to Mavli and says, "Why didn't you just grow your giant fur to grab the sword?"
Not all of us are good at that.
Good answer.
Yeah, so druidic magic is considered highly taboo.
Yeah, but Sudi assumes
So-
that's just something dwarves do.
Right. Yeah, just giving you guys context. So a druid in society would be considered like a medieval witch, right? They're social outcasts because they study magic openly.
Yeah, and Wit would not call it magic and would not call herself a witch. She would just say that she's able to speak with nature.
Yeah.
Do I know someone of this group that would be more of a scholar or would be trained in languages in particular?
I think probably Sister Caverns Fall is maybe the most learned of the group. But I think most of the people here, I don't think Wit is familiar with them.
Okay. Is the sister someone that came with us from Illmater?
She was the leader of the first search party.
Okay, yes, I will present her with the rubbings then that I took from the gate.
Okay.
When she gets back.
Yes.
Yeah, she is currently not there.
So
I will just hold them.
Mavli
You-
will like awkwardly walk up. Hi, I'm Mavli.
Have you out of character here? Are you from that town originally?
No.
Okay.
I have arrived there and I have been working on some of the more intricate carvings and whatnot of the chapel that's going up.
Okay. I'm Wid.
It is very nice to meet you. We probably should get caught up on all of this once we're all back together. We're dealing with a little bit of a little tragedy. And we're on, we're adventuring and we're on a side quest, just like you probably just were. Y'all, I hate this. Do you have tea?
I have something perhaps better. And she will pull out a large jug of mead.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some turn into bears. That's
I might be a bear and have a cape.
holy crap. Quinn, we have met so many cool people today.
I have
And
to
it's not
breathe.
even noon.
Yes, Wid will take out the jug of mead, and there's a bunch of small carved wooden cups, kind of like the caps of acorns almost, but slightly larger. And she will pour out the mead and say, we should prepare ourselves for a series of small tragedies.
Yeah, that's accurate.
You already had that.
But you just did you dump the mead or you poured it in the cup?
Oh no, I have the cups and I have the mead. I will pour the mead, and if someone wants it, we'll pass it out.
I thought you just dumped out and the mead was like, we must prepare ourselves.
Yeah, no, I'm not
like,
pouring out.
Oh, okay.
One for my homies.
Yeah,
People.
pouring for doth homies,
Pour one out for
On the
Salon.
ground right in front of them.
and a little for the sister.
Okay.
In the meantime, guys, mead, and there's Madely's gonna turn and gesture into this grave that's open, 6 feet deep coffin. There's a sword on it. Look, I'm short and awkward.
I'll get it, says Sudi, and then she drinks the mead. Now, this is her first time trying alcohol. Would some of you have tried mead? Tell me what her reaction might be.
I don't think it was a large amount, so you probably don't need to worry about it.
Well, just like the flavor or something, because I personally haven't tried mead yet.
It's made from honey. It's sweet, and it'll
It's
be
sweet.
slightly warming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meat is very good.
She asks for another cup of it before she grabs the sword.
I make sure everyone has the first serving, and then I will give you a second.
Okay. Now, how far down is this? Can she just bend over and grab it, or does she need to climb down a little?
You would essentially have to jump down. It's a 6 foot deep hole,
Can
and
she
there's a coffin at the
climb
bottom.
down by pushing on the sides? So
Yeah. So there's the big hole. It looks like it's fairly freshly dug. At the bottom of the grave is a coffin. At the top of the grave, beside it, is another coffin which has been broken, seemingly from the inside. Something came out of it. And there are tracks leading from that coffin toward the little hut where you met this group. So you jump down.
no, she puts one foot against one side and one foot against the other to try to stand halfway down the hole to grab it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I would like an acrobatics check.
Okay.
I think this is an acrobatics.
Quinn,
And a fairly difficult one too.
21.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really, really good.
ridiculously clever, quite talented. I would not have thought to do that.
Okay.
You're not a spider.
So you are kind of spidered halfway down, or most of the way down into this grave, with your hands and feet on either side holding you into position.
And grab the sword with one hand.
Okay, you reach down and grab the sword with one hand. Then what?
Climb out.
Okay. You climb out of the hole. You
So
detect a faint whisper. You're not sure
Can I-
where it's coming from.
Can I tell what it's saying?
You're gonna pay more attention to it, try to listen to it. Okay, So all of you kind of standing around watching, you see she climbs out of the hole and she's got this sword in her hand, and she seems to be like centering herself, right? Like listening to something that you can't hear. And as you do so, you become able to more clearly detect the faint traces of thoughts becoming louder and louder, until finally you can hear a powerful voice in your mind that says, "Who dares disturb my slumber?"
And she announces, I am Makusuri Imani, swing dancer of spiders and daughter of Kali Snake Slayer.
Thou art a human.
Yes.
The ages have been unkind. I am Shaliosi Thisrael, Bane of the Nameless. Do you seek my aid?
Who is the Nameless? Wait, you can't tell me, can you?
The Nameless One.
I may have need of destroying the Nameless One. Don't know yet.
Then you must seek the gate known as Etya Kaideere, just up ahead.
Kaidiere.
She's saying any of this out loud?
Kaideere.
Is this all in her head? Okay.
None of you can hear it except for her. You can, however, hear her speaking.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
When you're
So it
doing this,
seems
are
like
you
she's-
like holding the sword and
Yeah,
talking
she's like
to
talking to the sword.
At this point, nothing phases me. I'm glad we didn't go in the grave. I can't talk to my sword or warhammer. I ain't got it in me.
What is your purpose here?
My brother Truri has been captured, and I seek to find him and rescue him if need be.
Then you must hurry. Once the children pass beneath the shadow of the gate, time shall pass differently, and they shall be lost forever.
She yanks her head around. Which way is the gate?
I
Just
point
up
in the
ahead.
direction of the gate because she said that out loud.
Then she yells, "Let's go!" and rushes toward the gate with the sword.
Time moves differently for all, but always faster for those who move beyond.
Okay, she's heading for the gate. Is anyone going to stop her?
How far
We
away?
can't hear you.
Yeah, how far away is the
Together.
gate from here?
Together.
The gate from here is about a 10-minute walk.
Okay.
We were so close.
I yell after her, Sudi, wait for the group.
She turns around and pauses.
We'll come with you.
We need to hurry, she says, and looks at the sword again.
We will, but don't hurry to your death. There are things amok here. I look around. Do we need to wait? Well, what say you all? And Sudi, why are you going to the gate? Let's communicate here.
She holds the sword up and says, "This artifact, which I was directed to, says that we must save the children before it is too late. The gate will close or something."
Isn't the gate already closed? Can
She looks at it.
I see it from here to tell?
You cannot. The fog is too thick.
And then she lowers the sword. Do we need to kill a nameless one?
Oh,
Something about
probably.
an Etya Kaderi.
Is this making sense to anyone else?
Yes, that word, Etya Kaideere, sounds familiar. In fact, you haven't been able to translate what the word means, but that's one of your rubbings.
It's in Elvish though, right? Or
It is
Infernal?
in Old Elvish.
I can't read either one of those.
Right, so you don't know what it means.
So how would I know how to say it, I guess?
Well, like, you're familiar with like the letters in Elvish. You
Okay.
just don't know the language.
Okay, so I sounded it out.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha.
Judy hands the sword to Lee while they're waiting and says, "Here, you talk to it."
All right. What do you mean talk to it? What?
You hear a whispering in your mind, and it says, "Thou art a dwarf."
No, she's a human fighter.
Yeah. I know Dwarvish, but
Wait, oh, sorry. I thought you gave it to Wid. Sorry.
No, I wouldn't give a whole sword to a little dwarf unless I thought that she could use it or whatever.
I mean, I was just a bear, but
That's racist.
I
Sorry.
don't use swords.
My bad. I misunderstood who you gave it to.
I'm kind of confused as she hands it to me, but I do take it without fully thinking. I'm unfamiliar with anything that's magical, so I don't think that there could be harm in taking a sword.
Yeah, you also hear this voice starting out as a whisper, and as you focus on it, it gets louder. And it says, "And who art thou?"
Who art thou? You can call me Lee. Who are you?
"I am Shaliosi Thizrael, Bane of the Nameless."
And what does that mean?
"That is my name."
Bane of the Nameless? But
I am super
Where are
stoked
you?
about Bane of the Nameless.
am I aware this is in my mind? That's obvious.
Yes,
Okay.
it is definitely in your mind. Yeah.
How am I hearing you right now? Where are you?
"I am that which you wield in thy hand.
You're a sword, then.
I am not just any sword."
And meanwhile, Sudi's talking to Mavli. "That's a weapon, right? It really looks like a weapon, and a good weapon too, but I'm not familiar with it."
Well, I'm not familiar with most weapons, to be honest with you, but this one seems really neat. And namelessy, which is probably pertinent, all things considered. Can we walk and talk like a tour guide, but freakier? Walking
Toward the
and talking?
gate.
In a moment, because we need the other people who can cast healing spells in case bad things happen.
Sudi begrudgingly walks with her.
Well, I
and
have a healing spell. I have a healing potion here from Sulan's belongings. Remember that we scooped up earlier?
We totally did. You are always prepared and definitely my favorite short person thus far. Okay, and we're walking.
Yeah, it's worth noting that since Quinn kind of went through Sulan's stuff, she did also have this really creepy old brass lantern that she always carried with her, but she never actually used. And there is an inscription on the lantern. I think that you would notice this because it's something strange that she always carried and never used, and it has that weird inscription on it.
Ooh, the gnome's curiosity is piqued. Watch out,
And
world.
if I'll send you the info for that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're walking where exactly?
I would want to try to get the group back with the others because this probably happened much faster than gathering and the burying.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
Sense of urgency. So, if, Mavli's thinking right now, like, if we get everybody together, we can catch everybody up together on the walk to the gates.
I stick with the group while I'm holding this sword, and I'm talking and trying to kind of involve Sudi as I'm talking to the sword.
Sure. Yeah, you're talking to the sword. The sword responds to you and says, "Do you seek my aid?"
Well, what aid could you provide? And what is this about, a time limit? Gate? Something? What's going on?
You seek the children as well, then.
We do. We all do.
Then you too must seek Etia Kayerde just ahead.
And that's the gate?
Yes. Simply seal the old gate with blood so that the nameless evil cannot be released. This you must do for the sake of the world. no matter the cost.
And what exactly does the seal have to do with children?
The children have likely been taken inside to feed the Nameless God.
Well, that doesn't quite help us then if we're seeking the children.
You must catch them.
Catch them where? How? What do you mean?
You must pass through the gate at Etia Kayerde, and then seal the gate behind you.
And this would help us catch the children?
The children have passed through the gate.
I'm gonna need more information. Does anyone else here know anything about the names that I've been saying? I'm quite confused. Kess, that's your real name, or
That's my real name, yeah. Wid is my character name.
Wid, okay. Wid, you seem to know some things. I mean, you practice magic. Do you want to take a stab at this? And I kind of hold it out.
Do I want to stab something with a sword? Sure. Yes, I will hold it.
Okay.
He asks,
And again, you hear the whispers. You start to focus on them. And correctly this time, thou art a dwarf.
Yes, thou art a sword,
Do you seek my aid?
most likely.
What is it that you need?
We need guidance regarding the gate and retrieving the children.
You already know the location of Etia Kaideare.
Is that the name of the gate?
It is.
Are you able to tell me what the gate says on it?
I can read many languages.
I guess I unfold the rubbings and see if the sword can see with eyes somehow.
As a matter of fact, it can.
That's not creepy.
You're right. That's amazing.
Sentient magic weapons, y'all.
In a low magic land. Oh, my heart goes pitter pat and eek all at once.
All right. So as you are, I'm assuming you're walking while you're doing this, correct?
Sure, yes, towards the other group of people.
Yeah, towards the other group of people. All right. I'm going to just say that you arrive at the other group of people. And they are at this point, I think, midway through last rites for Sulan. At which point, Sister Caverns Fall finishes the fairly long initial prayer that she does, and with Ellie's help, lowers the 2 pieces of Sulan's body down into the grave, and says, I did not know her very well, but from what I did know, she was a staunch believer and a proud warrior for Illmater. And then she looks at Ellie. Perhaps you knew her better than I?
I knew her pretty much as well as you.
Sorry,
got to
Quinn
know-
totally busts in. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, finish.
I knew her as a sister in arms against these woods only. But that in and of itself is more worthy than anything I could have ever done.
Noble words. And at that, she looks at the approach of everyone else and specifically looks at Mavli and Quinn and says, would either of you like to say a thing?
You are our sunshine, our only sunshine. You made us happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much we'll miss you. Please
And you
keep
can
your
see
sunshine on all of us.
you can see Sister Caverns Fall is crying.
Single
Judy
tear.
gets out her tinderbox to light a fire.
Okay. And then she takes a handful of the driest soil that she can find and tosses it onto Sulan's body and kneels down in front of the grave and very carefully drops the holy symbol of Illmater down on what would have been the remains of her chest. And then she takes the shovel and slowly starts covering the rest of the body.
As she's doing this, Ellie's also kneeling in prayer. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, so mote it be in his Illmater's name.
And to show respect, Quinn also grabs dirt with her hands and tries to lay it over the grave.
Judy looks up and says, "Who has a knife?"
I have a dagger.
Nona's just gonna look at you real weird.
Not sure I want to not have it on me at the moment now, though.
Natalie like pulls out her dagger and kind of like a kid passing a note in school.
Wid, as this is happening, you're having a conversation.
I'll
You-
probably wait till that's done if possible.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, we can do
Because
that.
I want to try to say out loud what the sword is saying to me.
Okay, great.
Judy mixes a bit of the ash with a herb she has and a little water, and then puts the point of the dagger in and looks at the others expectantly.
Mavli
what
leans
in
over.
the- Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I think we're about to say the same thing.
I was gonna ask, what is that for? Not to be disrespectful, but
You knew
I
her?
just wanna know.
No, she knew her. She points at Ellie.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I understand your customs. You're clearly
You must add a dot.
at a what?
Judy shows her leg, and it's covered in rows of dots.
I'm sorry. Who is it that you worship?
Let me look that up.
Valid. Because Nona's not about to like partake in some pagan ritual.
Well, Ultigan, and I guess Velati. Why?
Nona, when she says Utagon, it kind of comforts you. Utagon is a god of nature, a neutral god.
Okay.
And then she says Ferrati, and a chill goes up your spine.
Great.
Ferrati is the Dreamweaver. Ferrati is an evil god.
Uh-huh. I have my own way of grieving my
Oh,
thank you.
Sudi looks at you strangely, and then to Mavly. You knew her, right?
Yeah.
She gestures toward your leg.
Mavly will lift her pant leg up.
Sudi pokes it.
Is this like a remembrance thing? I'm bad at rituals.
Yes, a remembrance forever.
So I carry a little bit of her with me is kind of how it works.
Not her.
Her memory.
Yes.
I'm down with that. Just one poke for
1 point of damage.
1 point of damage.
ow. B.
She hands you your dagger back.
Quinn, you down? I feel like we're like at a college party.
You guys are each
You
giving
do
each
it.
other stick and pokes.
It's a prison
Yeah,
tat.
Quinn knew it too. Did Quinn let Sudi poke her?
We'll
What
find
was
out.
that?
You knew her too. Did you let Sudi poke you?
Yes.
Okay. She dips the dagger again and pokes Quinn in the leg.
Oh
Near-
my
near the ankle.
goodness.
I look at Sister Catherine's fault. In like a should I stop this sort of.
As you look at Sister Caverns Fall and she's like watching what's going on, she kind of shrugs and like pulls up her pant leg.
Oh.
Sudi dips the dagger again and pokes her. And then she puts her herbs away and hands the dagger back.
All
Thanks,
right.
Doogie. That felt oddly appropriate, you guys. The crazy horny one would have liked that, I think.
Okay. So after the completion of the funeral, I'm assuming that at this point you're going to head to the gate, or would you like to communicate with the sword?
I think we can communicate with the sword on the way.
Okay. So, on the way, as you're holding out the papers that you have, the rubbings of the Elvish script, the sword reads to you what the script says, and I'm not going to do it in the sword's voice because I think that would get annoying.
And I'm not going to say it
I'm
immediately after
reading.
you say it, but that's what I do in character.
Yeah. Okay. So what the script says in Old Elvish says this is where Kel Paeris and Loriak, the twin shields of Mithril, the enemies of darkness, the eternal protectors, guard elfkind from the depths. Beyond this gateway, Care Deere, no mortal should venture. It is sealed and hidden with clear intention. Do not pass. The blood of countless lives has sealed this stone and many more before its construction. If reading this will not deter you, may guardians take your last breath. For those who must pass, make your peace and ready yourself for the task ahead. We honor your sacrifice and will sing your praises at the feasts. Be strong and do not venture from the path. If you should find this in dire times, the gateway may be sealed with life. The more given, the more powerful the ward. Do not dare venture forth.
Well, that's a lot to take in.
It is a lot to take in.
I'm confused. Does that mean we should pass or shouldn't pass. I'm lost here.
Well, it's said for those who must pass, stick to the path. I'm
We
assuming
must
that's what
pass.
we do.
That's where the children are.
But make your peace can't. Almost sounds like it'll think we're dead.
I mean,
It is just a gate, no?
what lies beyond it is our problem there.
What do gates usually guard?
Z, can I roll insight to see if I feel that the sword is telling the truth?
Absolutely.
I just have a family to return to, so this description is confusing me. I do not understand the ways of magic.
I just feel like some of us have more at stake, that maybe we're trying to receive people or family or innocent, and maybe our life is worth that.
22 on insight.
22 on insight. You don't get any inkling that the sword is mistranslating. Apparently, this is in fact what the rubbings say.
I need to return to protect my family. I'm here to protect my family, but I'm uneasy. Does this say we won't return? I'm asking that in character, but I'm also kind of asking that myself. To me, that clearly said, like, if you pass this, you're not coming back. Did I interpret that wrong?
The things that a person writes do not tell whether you live or die.
I think it's very likely that we will come into mortal danger on the other side of that.
Would you like me to read it again?
Um,
I would say all the parts about danger, but I think that's all of it. So maybe.
Maybe slower.
Yeah,
Post it and I could read it, whatever is best for you.
I can do both.
Perfect.
So it says, this is where Kel, Paeris, and Loriak, the twin shields of Mithril, enemies of darkness, the eternal protectors, guard elfkind from the depths. So that implies that there are at least two people in here protecting the outside from the inside, right? Beyond this gateway, no mortal should venture. It is sealed and hidden with clear intention. Do not pass. The blood of countless lives has sealed this stone and many more before its construction. If reading this will not deter you, may the guardians take your last breath. For those who must pass, make your peace and ready yourself for the task ahead. We honor your sacrifice and will sing your praises at the feasts. Be strong and do not venture from the path. If you should find this in dire times, the gateway may be sealed with life. The more given, the more powerful the ward. Do not venture forth.
Okay, clearly this is saying, you know, I don't think we're gonna live past this. So how do we know if the children are even there? Are you guys willing to take that risk just based on a talking sword? I'm a little...
we followed many small footprints here.
Perhaps we clarify if they lead to the gate.
Of course.
Can I confirm that, Z? Did I see small footprints?
You did. In fact, at the footsteps of the gate, you saw two bodies, one of which was a child, one of which was an adult.
Oh, I described that to the group.
What did the child look like?
Yeah, is there any distinguishing features?
All right, let's just advance forward since you're walking towards there, that you arrive, and so you can see it yourselves.
Do we think this is the first gate or the second gate? Weren't there two? Or am I mistaken?
I think Cole did say there were two.
Cole referenced multiple gates.
I imagine this is one, and then if there's guardians inside guarding some awful being that's trapped in another thing that has a gate.
Do any of us recognize the dead bodies?
The team walked for what felt like 10 minutes, passing the cart full of corpses, the graves, and the remains of a few additional ruined, blackened structures. Oh shit, what happened?
That's what we're saying.
They passed the last tombstone and continued for another 10 minutes until dim glow ahead beckoned you closer. The glow seems to be coming from a series of points somewhere high up, perhaps 30 feet high at their highest point, and the muted sound of light footsteps can be heard retreating through the drying dirt ahead.
like light as in small bodies that don't weigh much?
Interpret it as you will.
All right.
Three speeds up, trying to catch him.
I can move forward quietly.
The tracks are leading towards the gate. 6 hellish torches cast light on ancient characters, massive runes, and hideous gargoyles hewn into the stone that makes up the archway. The figures represented are comprised of stern-faced humanoids, ravenous monsters, and freakish abominations that seem to shift slightly under the torchlight. 2 large statues flank the edge of the arch, and the passage leads directly into a large mound of earth, the edges of which are obscured from vision. Large piles of stone lay nearby, accompanied by mounds of excavated dirt, wood from felled trees, and various tools for labor. In the center of the archway is a massive stone door with no visible lock, keyhole, or method of entry. Instead, an inscription is carved on the door in a language that you recognize as Elvish, due to its elaborate and fanciful nature. However, dark splatters of blood mar the door, and 2 corpses lie at its base in a pool of their own blood. Though nearby, the air is still stale and warm, the overwhelming rotting stench has dissipated slightly.
Interesting.
Ask the sword if this is the gate that's being referenced.
I'd also like to go examine the bodies.
This is the gate.
It's the gate that I took the rubbings from.
Does that
Is
sword know? I'm sorry for interrupting. Does that sword know what it says on the door?
yes, that's what I was repeating earlier when I was reading the rubbing. This is the same script, and I'll hold up the rubbing so you can compare the two.
So he turns around and says, before we push the gate open, did somebody have something for my stomach ache?
I probably do, actually. I dig through my bag and I will give you something that tastes of mint.
Okay, basically
it-
she needs healed.
Does it feel like you have a silent one inside your stomach though? Like, are you okay?
Don't think
Silent-
this.
Just checking,
the silent ones
making
hurt.
sure.
Silent ones definitely hurt.
Well, my stomach hurts.
Can I examine the bodies?
Which one?
The child first.
Okay.
It does whatever we'd give Sudi heal her.
I will assist with medicine if that helps at all. for the examination.
Yeah, with even a modicum of magical assistance, your stomach feels fine. Mhm.
Okay, so how much does she heal for?
Probably just one.
Oh,
It-
'cause that
it
was from
depends.
the vomiting earlier.
Yeah, that didn't deal any actual damage. Yeah.
You said
Oh,
she got
It dealt
15.
it dealt stress damage.
Well,
It's
she
psychological
associated the
damage.
stress with the vomiting.
Yeah. You can't heal stress damage with magical healing.
Did you
Okay.
put damage on your sheet? Because you didn't need to do
Shouldn't
that.
have?
Oh, yeah, I'm keeping track of that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's adding and subtracting from our sanity points. So you don't have to
Okay.
keep track of that.
Yeah.
Um,
The child seems to have been exsanguinated. You actually, those of you who are from Illmaters Hope, you recognize this boy as Gilly. And a young 11-year-old he used to bully some of the children in town, but he certainly didn't deserve this fate.
no. I look at Mavly. It's Gilly.
Mavly's just gonna walk up and kind of kneel beside him and like rub her hand over his head, like ruffle his hair.
Sister Caverns Fall does the same and says a little prayer for him.
Do I recognize the man?
He is face down.
Is his hair patchy?
No.
Are his hands bound?
it does not
Is it
resemble
fucking
coal.
coal?
No. Yeah, it does not resemble coal.
That's
Can I
good.
actually? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was wondering if I could go over to the man's body and just sort of just put my hand into his hair and just yank his head up so we could see his face.
Yeah.
Anyone recognizes him?
As you reach out to roll the man over, you hear a loud shriek and an arm lashes out with razor talons to slash at you. And you take 10 points of slashing damage as the figure, now revealed as the Silent One, lunges towards you, slashes you, and then bounds off before anybody has a chance to react. It was a surprise round.
Motherfucker.
Who is
I'm
this
so
one now?
tired of that happening.
Is he still physically there? Can I like grab my weapon and just, and try to get back at him?
Oh no, he jumped out of the way. Yeah.
Did he
and
have an axe in its back?
No.
Does Wit have the sword now?
I have the sword.
Wid has the sword,
You're
yeah.
gonna keep it? Or you're gonna hand it to someone else?
I mean, I'm not going to keep it. It does me no good.
Was
Does
there
the
any
sword
cackling?
There was a shriek, yeah.
From the dead body or from somewhere else?
That was it. Yeah,
Okay.
from the body, which turned out to be, in fact, the Silent One.
So wait, was the whole body the silent one, or was the silent one in a dead body?
The whole body was him.
Oh.
Does the sword react at all to the Silent One's presence?
It's a good question. Does
Does
it? Z?
who?
The sword.
That's a good question. How would the sword react?
Good question.
Good job, Mavly.
Almost lost the needle.
I'm helping.
Yeah, it depends. I don't think the sword would initiate anything.
Would it start like yelling at it? Be gone!
Is it
No,
This
nobody
of
can,
the realm.
nobody can hear the sword except for the person holding it.
Is it
Yeah.
bloodthirsty? Does the sword want to attack the silent one?
Would you like to ask it?
Sure. Yeah, because I have another question for it anyway.
Yeah, if you ask if it would like to kill the silent one, it says, that vile creature I do not think can be truly destroyed. However, it can be injured and contained.
Do you know how to do that?
It can be lured inside the gates and then the gates sealed.
What is the best lure for the silent one?
Us, probably.
I do not know. However, the silent one does take pleasure in vile acts.
And then I have a question about the gate for you, Sword. Is the price blood or is the price death to open it?
The price is blood, life, that which provides life.
All of the life or a representation of the life?
The more blood provided, the stronger the ward.
That's to seal it, though, right?
Yes. Well, sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I-
I'll say that. But yeah. Is blood needed to open it as well as to seal it?
The blood can be used to open the gate. There is, however, another way.
I'm listening.
If one knows the password.
Sudi thinks it's one of those push to open things.
My voice is my password.
You do see along the top of the gate, you see runes that you weren't able to take rubbings of because they're really high. And they're not elven. They're very distinctly not elven, and they look much, much older.
Do they look infernal?
They do not look infernal.
I don't.
Interesting.
In fact, I can send you a picture of what they actually look like.
Is it like Old Elvish so I can sound it out?
Do they look draconic?
Is
Man,
it
our
like
Nice
druid is a
try.
beast.
abyssal?
All the best questions, knows how to read things. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sword is great.
Okay. Let me just
While Z is doing that, can I say how irritated I am that this damn gate was 10 minutes out of the village and the sword was right fucking there.
Right?
We were so close to greatness.
Can I
We
just say
still
that
should've-
I hinted so hard.
I know.
No, you did, but we still need our freaking spell slots. We have none.
Yeah,
None of
yeah.
us have any spell slots left.
Listen, that sounds like a personal problem.
Swear to God, though, I've been pulling Hamilton lines out of my ass for a week. And right now, all I can think of is, I am so into you.
I think Sudi can read that.
All right,
That's a
so
phonic script?
yep, that is what the script looks like.
Looks like Guru.
So she can sound it out, but she won't know what
I'm
it is.
I'm with Kess on that. It totally does. It
Like
almost
what?
looks it looks like Garu.
From Werewolf World of Darkness.
Jamie should know.
I was definitely like, are you thieving things from White Wolf?
Nope.
Okay, so while she's waiting, Sudi sees those and sounds it out.
Oh right, you can read Draconic.
She can read and write Draconic, but not Common. She can understand Common, but not Draconic. So
Yeah.
what she sees.
Okay, so yeah, so
That's
Sudi
excellent.
looks up at that, and immediately you recognize their letters. It's surrounded by the warding magic, which you don't recognize. But these letters are seemingly separated from the rest of the warding spell that is containing whatever being is inside the gate inside. So you do manage to pull these letters apart. And so the letters go as follows in order: R, B, A, R, D, C, B, A.
Can you put that in the
Freaking
chat?
abracadabra.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
Dude,
me
he
right
says
now?
Rabban
As Mavly speaks that word, you hear the door start to grate stone against stone as it slowly moves open. And after it moves about a few inches, like 10 inches, it seemingly stops on something.
On something?
Something has stopped the motion of the door.
Does it open outwards or to the side?
It opens inwards.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Probably it's probably stuck on a hole, like a pile of dead bodies.
Maybe children.
Duty turns to the others and asks, "Is that even a word?"
No.
The
It's neat though.
the doors think it's a word.
The computer says no.
Good enough.
Sorry.
What,
Ready to go in?
abracadabra?
It's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like backwards abracadabra. Or avada-kedavra.
Oh no.
Quinn's gone off the deep end.
You just got Harry Potter cursed.
So we all ready to go in?
I have to admit to you, I am so not ready, but I need to know what happened, but I am so tired.
Yeah, what time of day is it?
The door is stuck. It's mid-morning. It's
Oh.
probably about 10 a.m. at this point.
It's open 10 inches. Can we see through it, in it?
As you look through it, you see a dark, empty passage, but the opening is not large enough at this point for a person to go through.
Not even Quinn?
What's up, Quinn?
And
Sorry, don't mean technicalities. It was 10 a.m. when Sulan's body was dragged.
Okay,
Yep.
11 a.m. then. It's an hour later.
I assumed it was just the same time.
Time moves differently here. What can we say?
Edie would probably fit too, right?
Yeah, could I fit in there? Being part of the small folk squad?
Probably, maybe. I'd
That
say it
depends.
would
How many meals a
require.
day do you eat?
I'd say it would require for the super smalls, so like Quinn and Edie, I'd say it would require a athletics check to try to wedge your way through.
All right. I'm gonna try to
By
get in.
athletics. Could it also mean acrobatics?
Nope. This
Good
is
try.
forcing your way through an opening, not
Okay.
leaping and bounding. Yeah.
All right.
9.
9,
Yeah.
14.
9.
14. All right. So I'm gonna say Edie tries first and manages to squeeze herself through. Edie is a little bit smaller than Quinn. Halflings are smaller than gnomes. And so Quinn tries to follow Edie and gets stuck. And you can't, it's a little bit too small for Quinn to fit through. Edie, however, is on the other side in the dark. There's a thin sliver of light coming through the gap.
Y'all, it is dark as all hells in here.
Can we hear her?
Yep.
Can I try to is there anything blocking the doors? Is there any way I can kind of open them from the inside?
Yeah, you look down and you see that there is a large root that has grown over the doorway.
I'll relay it to the party, and I'll say, there's some sort of a root in here.
Burn it, then you'll get rid of it and have some light.
Burn it? How? I don't have anything that can burn it with. Unless
Is
you
it
got
like
something
a-
through the
tinderbox
door.
through the hole.
Is it like a tree root?
Yes.
I generally carry torches, so I could pass mine through. Does anyone else have a torch? How are we seeing things right now?
Well, Sudi was giving her a tinderbox.
I don't know
Probably.
how.
My guess is that humans are probably using torches due to low light. And also halfling people without dark vision.
Sudi doesn't have a torch. She's trying to train in blind fighting, although she's not very good at it yet.
Assuming Sudi's still handing over that tinderbox, Edie will stick a hand through to. If Edie sticks her hand through the doorway, through that opening, like, does it actually come out? Does everyone see that, or is there some weird shenanigans happening?
Nope, it totally comes out.
I don't
Alright.
know
Anyone
how
have an axe?
great it is
I got.
to burn a tree.
Well, if you got something that can cut it, maybe. I got some weapons on hand, but they're not particularly sharp.
If this tree root has grown, didn't you say, turning to Wid, didn't you say that like the time in there is a lot faster than in the time out here?
Yes.
Let me recall that. Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Time's been a little wonky for all of us.
right,
Ellie?
but if there's time enough inside to have grown a tree on the inside.
Yeah, do we
like-
see evidence of a tree from our side of things?
Like
No.
it must have been on that side at least a couple years since this gate has been fully opened.
No. Time travels faster on the other side. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is
no,
on the other.
you got it backwards. So an hour on the other side is more like a week on the outside.
Okay, so it travels fast, so it goes faster
Slow.
outside.
Yeah, slower
it-
inside.
Right.
No, it moves faster on the perception of time moves faster for people on the inside.
Oh, so she was right the first time then, because she's thinking that if the tree root grew that fast on the inside, then we've got some issues with the kids being in there. Right?
Hang on. Let me.
If it's an hour inside, a week outside, then they wouldn't have been able to open the door ahead of us.
Then the
It
tree wouldn't
is-
have been able to grow.
Yeah. So the root is there.
Okay.
And
Magic root.
I'm
Facts.
trying to extrapolate information.
yeah. The sword
panic
told you
about
that
it.
time passes differently for those who pass the gates. And I'm telling you that a week on the outside is, equates to like a day beyond the gate. That's not exactly the right measurement, but
Okay.
that type of relative time.
Okay.
But the good news is that if the children are in there, it is not felt as long for them as it has for us. That is a blessing.
That's true. Okay.
Considering some of the things we've seen, the root might have grown through some other force, not its own. Like, we can't assume that things move and shift there in ways that we could predict out here.
That's true.
Kess, make a with this either Arcana or Nature. I'll let you decide.
The silent
your-
one took my axe.
Results will vary depending on which you choose.
Guess I'd go with nature. 20. Not
Okay,
Nat.
20. With your druidic knowledge and just knowledge of magic in general, you would probably ascertain that the roots are probably somehow, the growth of the roots is probably somehow related to the sealing ritual, in that the roots prevent something from the inside passing through it. So the roots are more like the gate on the inside, whereas the stone gate is, allowing people entry from the outside. So the fact that there's one root barring the inside means that there's a weak bond or a weak ward. That's what you would ascertain with your druidic knowledge.
Okay, thank you. So the root, I'm going to address this to, is it Edie that's inside? Is the root just on one side of the door? Like, because there's two doors, right? So is it on like the left or the right?
It kind of grows across the bottom.
Across
On
both.
the bottom, I can't open it.
When the gate was fully sealed, there would have been more than this. So the seal is weakening. We may have to weaken it further for us to get through.
We'll have to, weaken it so we can get through and then strengthen it again so things don't come out?
We strengthen it by giving it life. That's going to be an issue.
Well, I'm already bleeding. I can probably put some of that on there.
If we're supposed to seal it behind us, is that just giving up being like taking the children back?
Let me consult this magic sword. It's Bane of the Nameless. Is that its name, Z?
Shaliosi Thizrael.
I say that. Can you tell me more about the ceiling, and do you know anything about the root that is in our way? Will we need to reseal this door after we pass through it?
The door must be sealed.
So we seal it when we go in, but we can also potentially come out and then seal it again from the outside.
Can we seal it from the outside? Can you ask the sword?
Sure. I need to know more about the ceiling. To create a root of the size that we currently have, how much blood do you think would be required for that?
I do not know much of the arcane. Were I to wager a guess, maybe one.
One small person's worth? Is that
Yes.
the measurement? Okay. Is it possible for us to seal this from the outside as well?
Yes.
Is it the same process?
Yes.
Is that the small person outside?
I imagine so.
Yes, I'll relate this, that it will cost a fair amount of blood to seal it regardless, whether it's inside or out.
Needn't necessarily be a person, though.
Where are
Perhaps.
we gonna get not a person?
Dogs.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I asked the sword if an animal sacrifice works.
I know not.
The sword says outlook hazy.
Worth a try then.
Perhaps if several of us donate to the cause instead of just
Right
one
now?
sacrificing it all when we're ready to seal it.
I would donate a goat to the cause.
I don't think
you
a
have
goat
a
will
goat?
work. We need to give of ourselves.
that might be a figure of speech.
I think if it's not set in stone, perhaps we try other things first and evaluate our options.
I mean, I think it's literally set in stone. I think it's etched in stone. It's made of stone.
Eddie, are you okay in there?
Was it? It said this is out of character. It said it was hazy though, right? Like
Sorry, what's the question?
the sword doesn't know, so
What kind of life exactly is required?
Right,
That's-
the sword.
yeah.
The sword does not know.
yeah. So I mean, that would make sense to try animals first in that case.
But we don't have any animals.
Finding them has been a little
So
rough.
we're here and we know where it's at. Do we want to take a couple of minutes and scout and see if we can find any living thing to see if we could maybe sacrifice them instead of one of us?
Edie, why don't you come out?
Can
You have to
I
destroy the root
make my
first.
way out of there, or am I stuck in there?
Yeah, you can make your way out.
I'll make my way out.
I just don't want her to get stuck.
All right, Edie squeezes back through the same way she came.
That was not something that I expected to be going through.
Did you burn the root? Well, go burn the root.
It's magical. It's part of the seal.
Do you give the tinderbox back?
I'll hand the tinderbox back over. Thank you for the help, though.
For context, this root is only about this big around. So
Oh,
maybe like 4 inches across. Yeah.
It's
That
not the
takes me-
Whomping Willow.
Okay, I can.
That takes an entire person to make a root that small. That's terrifying.
Small person, small root.
Z, game question for you.
Yep.
Would summon beast, would the beast that I summoned from that be considered a sacrifice? It does have a corporeal form.
Yeah. However, summon beast doesn't actually summon beasts. I believe it summons fey creatures, right?
It's a bestial spirit,
Right.
but it has a corporeal form.
Right. But when they're killed, they just vanish.
So that
No.
does not count. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good try, though.
I just
I do like that solution.
You're like, where can we find animals? I can summon them, but that doesn't do anything. I'm
That's the
Cinderella
reason
in that way.
No, except the ark is a big sacrifice heap.
I don't
Lee,
know
how
if
long
it's
have
gonna
you
work.
guys been traveling?
Where's Cole when you need him?
Telling you.
Who was Cole?
Praised acolyte. He led us here.
He's very much a devout to the Nameless God, and I'm certain he would have given his life to support this.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm certain he would have too, but perhaps not willingly.
Willing or otherwise.
I'm just, I mean,
Did you try cutting the root?
I don't have anything sharp enough to cut it. Most of my stuff is for blunt force.
I
Shooting
passed
hands to a dagger that's bent. Would this work?
Possibly, but again, that root is from for what we'd said, part of the ward.
I have something I could try, perhaps.
are we ready to break the ward and open it just yet? I don't know how long you guys have been traveling, but are we
We're
really?
upon about 35 hours.
I mean, you guys were the ones who didn't even want to. Do you want to go as fast as possible, or do you want to rest?
Yes.
How long has your party been traveling since your last sleep?
I don't.
Have we been like taking Have we been taking rest consistently at all?
Yes, you have been taking rests. So you guys are fairly fresh.
We could still, I think, keep going. So if you guys need a rest, we could stand watch.
Yeah, why don't those of you who are very tired and grieving take a nap, and we will tackle the root issue and let you know when it's complete, and we can move forward.
I think that's very much a good idea. I mean, we're tired and we lost one of our good friends, and the sleep really, really has been kind
Erratic
of
and terrible.
yeah, just
Fleeting.
not making us crazy, but just a little couple of things that aren't really too pleasant. That sleep, I think, might help.
So, out of game, does that mean we're going to try to take a long rest right now? Because we've been taking short rests, but that's not going to help with our exhaustion.
Long rest is 8 hours, is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think
We're
that's fine.
we're gonna sleep for 8 hours starting at noon.
So how long can you break up a long rest? I just
Don't think you can.
Yeah, you can't. It has to be 8 hours continuous.
Oh, because I mean you break it up for
non-strenuous.
watches.
It's
Yeah,
true.
well,
I mean,
what-
we haven't had combat.
Yeah, well, you did do some traveling and you did do a burial.
And there's 3 of you that in particular that need rest, is that correct? I don't know if you were there for that. I will take out my bottle of mead. I have a big jug of mead and small cups. And I will take out 3 of them, and I will give each of you a cup of mead.
Oh.
And say, why don't you take a nap?
Right here in front of the gate, though. We'll be good right here.
To be fair, we've slept in worse places in the past 24 hours.
I think no
Sister
place is
Cavern's
safe
Fall.
right now.
To be fair, I think they're all worse places.
Sister Cavern's Fall says, at least we're not on unhallowed ground here.
Oh.
Is there any sort of covered-ish area nearby, like a even rock or foliage to rest with some partial coverage, or is it just totally out in the open next to the gate?
It's kind of at the base of a rocky cliff. I'll show you kind of a picture of what you're working with here. I have an image if I can find it, and I will post it in Discord. I think I have a picture. Yes, here we go. Okay, in game chat, this is a picture of the Great Gate. So this is kind of what you're looking at here.
Holy crap.
Wow.
That is super
Fancy
awesome.
as F.
Imagine something a lot uglier.
Say.
Yeah. This is a lot more polished than I had in my mind.
Oh yeah, the craftsmanship is flawless.
On point.
Yeah, it's elven, which
As
will
a-
probably make you dwarves a little bit jealous.
No, it's not jealousy.
They're
We
just
can
they're
respect
just
different art
prissy.
forms.
Yeah.
And there's a
Yeah.
lot we can learn from each other. I mean, the elves obviously don't learn from us because they're assholes, but otherwise.
Looks like there's some rocky areas to the right, a little bit like something we could tuck behind, or they could.
Yes. Yeah, there are absolutely areas that you could sequester yourselves in.
Yeah, I think anyone who's sleeping to be out of view, at least partially, is best in this case. Perhaps we can see if there's a spot around the corner here that would be suited for that.
Honestly, Nona doesn't think that it's a good idea, but she's too exhausted to argue. So
So are you
she's just,
taking a long rest? Is that
I
what's
think that's
happening
what
right
I'm
now?
gonna do.
Okay. So with our 4 well-rested people watching over 3-4 exhausted people, what are the 4 of you doing? I keep losing track of which group I'm talking about. What are
Same.
the 4 of you doing while the other 4 are resting?
See, could recounting our experiences from this point forward for like 15-20 minutes, maybe a half hour, bringing them up to speed on what happened with Cole
Mhm.
and all of that, would that count against the long rest, or would that be considered a non-strenuous activity?
That would be considered a non-strenuous activity.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
I would like to do that.
Okay.
Brain dump and talking to people who might actually be able to help, because oh my god, until these 4 people walked up, you guys, I can't tell you right now, I want to get to the kids so bad and I'm so tired and I know I'm not thinking clearly, but until I saw all of you come up, I didn't think we could do this. I didn't even think we could find the gate, and it was 10 minutes out. I'm just so relieved you're here and willing to help. I
Yes.
didn't think that finding the kids would be this.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
And no choice.
Sorry, lost people along the way. We'll do what we can to help.
Mavely, do you want to burn the last bit of our candle?
No.
Okay.
The
No.
last bit I think would be no. I think the last bit, I do have this, and she kind of pulls it out. I've got what's left of this candle, and it's going to be really helpful if we have to take a short rest while we're in there. I don't want to use it now.
That's totally
Sulan
fine.
also had one of those candles.
Shut the fuck up. Can we use that
Seriously?
now?
You can use it if you want. Yeah.
What does it do?
It's a candle of resting. It essentially, if you use it for short rests, you recover more HP. But if you use it for a long rest, it reduces that long rest from 8 hours to 4.
Oh.
Considering the different nature of time inside and out, I think they are best used inside the gate. It could be a matter of minutes to them as opposed to hours for us.
For right now, I think that's probably accurate.
And for the 3/4 people with the NPC that are going to sleep, I won't say anything, but I will hand each of you a pair of dwarf-size wool socks that are warm and dry and clean.
Oh my god. You're just so prepared. I love you.
I'm prepared for the
I
wind.
live in the wilderness. Have
Well,
skills will
probably
travel.
All for the. Wait, no,
I mean-
she's a dwarf too. Probably a little bit big for the gnome.
Yeah, they're
All
one
right.
size fits all, so good luck. But
So for the sake of brevity, 8 hours pass, and you get a long rest.
They don't have to fight anything while we're sleeping.
during that, I wanted to try something with the root.
Sure. What do you want to try?
I want to cast Primal Savagery on my claws. I
Uh-huh.
can do my fingernails into claws, sharpen them, and I do 1d10 acid damage for every strike on the root. So I'm just going to try to burn it away with damage and acid during the 8
Awesome.
hours.
Question: at what point during this 8-hour period are you doing this?
I will start immediately.
Okay, so you use your primal savagery, and those of you nearby can see this. Her claws essentially become sharp, jagged, and dripping with acid, and she starts swiping at this root, reaching through the door, right, to get that root behind it. It doesn't take much, In fact, once the root snaps, the doors then on their own grind open and push what remains of that root to the side. And now the gateway is open before you.
Approximately how long does that take? You said not long at all, but
Probably about 10 minutes.
okay. Well, I don't do it that fast. I have got lots of hours. I'm not going to be super strenuous about it.
Yeah, I think Primal Savagery doesn't last super long though.
But it's a cantrip, so I can kind of just
Okay,
do it
cool.
indefinitely.
It's a cantrip?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say then that you can time it in such a way that you can kind of sense the tension that is on this root, that you get to a point where you know that if you hit it again it's going to break, and then you can time that to whenever you want.
Great. And then after that, I was hoping to cast Beast Sense and send a small animal through. And I'm not sure if the time difference is going to make this tricky for them to send me back what they're seeing.
Oh yeah.
So that also could maybe take the full 8 hours for me to get
Yeah,
any
so
stuff back.
so what happens is when you send your beast companion in, basically once it passes a certain point, once it completes the threshold of the gate, its movements begin to become so slow and sluggish that you're not even really sure if it's moving.
Okay, so we're looking at event horizon here. All right.
That's wild.
Do I get any messages back from them, even if it's like hours later? Or does it come to me like in slow-mo thoughts?
Yeah, I think even the thoughts would be dilated.
Okay, so tree end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you do have that link, but the time is so different that yeah, what you would get in return would be almost inconceivable or indecipherable.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's in
But
Old English.
you could acknowledge that it is trying to send something back, like that connection is there, so you know it's not dead.
Okay.
Or at least within, you know, however long it's in there, you don't know exactly what the time dilation is. All right,
Okay.
anything else during that 8 hours?
No, but I've used one of my second level spells for
Okay.
that.
Oof. All right, 8 hours finishes. It is 9:40. So traditionally we ended the game, you know, 20-30 minutes before 10 o'clock to, you know, allow people to talk about the game, to decompress, to be like, holy fuck, that messed me up. Maybe not do that anymore, or, you know, whatever, how you're feeling about the game. Do you want to see more of something? Do you want to see less of something? What did you think?
I enjoyed it. Some of the characters are pretty fun.
Cool.
Hi,
cool.
everybody.
Hello.
What was it? Was it what you expected?
This was so far so good. This is, you know, I'm totally on board, super into like the part of my language, the weird shit happening.
So much weird shit.
Yeah, just
Cool.
glad to be on board.
I sensed a little bit of apprehension there from Nancy's character.
No, I'm bad at knowing when I'm supposed to talk.
Yeah.
So, no, not about the story. Yeah, this is pretty much kind of what I expected, and I'm having a good time. So
Good. How are your characters feeling?
I wanted to say something about that specifically. If there was a guarantee of no return, then my character would not go based on what I had in my head for my character. So I'm thinking I might need to make a slight adjustment or excuse where she
Sure.
go in order
Yeah,
to.
we can always adjust. We can always adjust things as
Well,
needed.
Sweetie would have an answer to that.
If you don't want to go, you can be a sacrifice.
Oh, geez.
She's right.
That was out of character.
Really grumpy.
Writing. Says you can trust that just as much as any writing.
Yeah. So just an FYI, since it's not super relevant and you guys already have like a conclusion of what happened, the Gilly was not sacrificed to seal the door. Gilly was sacrificed to open the
Open it.
door.
Yeah.
Does that release part of the seal?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why the root was as weak as it was. It opened temporarily to allow them to go in, but then it was only able to seal a tiny bit.
They just couldn't figure out that the password was fucking abracadabra.
Or they couldn't read Draconic.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing you try is open sesame. And the second thing you try is abracadabra. That's the
In a
rule.
low magic
All right,
world.
listen.
In a low
I
magic
wanted to
world.
put an anagram puzzle in, but I didn't want it to be too hard to where you guys were like, I don't fucking know, Z. Like, come on. So I made it like really easy.
So you
But you'd be like,
abracadabraed
okay.
it.
Yeah,
I really-
That's awesome.
It was great. It was great. I love it.
I was like, what's a magic word that would open a door? Okay, yeah, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
I really do love riddles though. So if you want to add more riddles,
I write
Sure.
riddles. I
I'm
can send you
also
some.
on board.
Oh, I'm bored for riddles for sure.
Okay, I can do that. I can do that.
I do love me some riddles.
Cool.
You don't solve them. You have to take a sanity roll and everything is all.
Right.
It
Just
bugs the hell out of you. Until...
Sacrifice a spell
Like,
slot for a clue.
For all the new people tonight, like it's so awesome to have you on board, but this was so mild to the shit that we've been enduring
This is
so
probably
far.
This is like the nicest. This
It's
is the nicest session we've
nicest-
had.
okay, well, I didn't want to scare
Seriously.
them away day one. Like,
But you
Well,
scared
we're
the
just
hell
trying to
out of
prepare
us.
them
Are
for
you
next
shitting
time.
me right now?
Oh, I love that you're darning a sock, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Ian Darning.
also, if I was gonna like hamper them the way I had been like
Oh my
Just-
God.
throwing shit at you, I think this
This session
wouldn't
would
have
been-
gone as quickly as it did. Like, my goal tonight was to get both of the groups together in a way that made sense
Totally.
and get to the gate, which you did. So I'm happy with tonight's progress.
Yeah, no, I totally get exactly why everything was done the way it was.
Mhm.
It's just like, okay, fine, we cleared the forest for you. You're welcome.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we take a minute to be like in real life humans and like introduce ourselves like while we're on screen
Yeah.
and stuff?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I found, okay, so I'm Z, or Walter, or Arctic Knight, for those of you who don't know me. I am a geologist and a historical reenactor and a TTRPG enthusiast. I teach geology at the University of Alaska. So I got this ragtag group of people together to play a campaign that I am super passionate and I've worked very hard on. So I'm really hoping you guys enjoy that. But if you don't, you know, feel free to tell me and whatever. But anyway, go ahead. That's me.
Well, I'm Abby. I have an interest in languages, including Finnish. I actually have Finnish words on all 4 of my walls. I'm a knitter. Yeah, I think stuff. I'm working at a shop downtown while I also work on a Bible degree on an online college. And hi. I also write riddles, so I'm gonna send you some.
I met Abby randomly on the internet. I posted in a D&D group, hey, I'm looking for players for a really dark game. And Abby, oh God, Abby and Maya, sorry, I almost forgot your name. Abby and Maya volunteered. So kudos to them.
Welcome.
I don't normally do horror, but I like storytelling. And horror is a type of storytelling.
It hasn't been too bad. I thought it would be a little worse. It might get a little worse, but it hasn't
Don't
been too
jinx
bad.
it. Why are you jinxing it?
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Oh, no. Oh,
Oh,
no.
you say that now, but you don't know me.
You should see the shit that goes on in my main campaign. On that note, hi, I'm Maya. I am from Los Angeles, California. Like Z said. May I call you Professor Z? Actually, since you said you teach.
Sure, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Well, like Professor Z said, he had posted on the on a group on Facebook, and that's how I found this game. I'm funny enough, a massive horror fan. Specifically been on like a cosmic horror kick. I do have a separate campaign I've been in for approaching 2 years at this point. That meets on Sundays, where I have a tiefling warlock, active great old one.
Tieflings.
Yeah, I figured I'd go with something new, since I mostly play spellcasters.
Nice.
If anyone had any questions for me or wanted to know any more about me, hit
If
me up,
you
let me
were
know.
a dinosaur,
What would your favorite horror movie be?
Dinosaur
Armageddon.
favorite horror movie. Dinosaur, pterodactyl.
good choice.
Definitely, because they can fly, they can scream, they can, definitely fend for themselves and be awesome. As far as favorite horror movie, that is a super tough call. I'm a sucker for the Halloween and Scream series.
Nice slashers.
And then what was that one called? I think it's called The Void.
Oh, The Void is amazing. Yeah, definitely watch that if you haven't seen it.
It is the trippiest thing, but it's awesome. So yeah,
What would you say your IRL dex score is?
Oh my gosh.
I would probably have a little above average, little over average.
Like 12?
Probably. I'm good with like arts and crafts and like I haven't knit in a while, but I used to do a lot of that. So got
Nice.
little nimble fingers.
Nice.
But yeah, that's probably where my stats would go into.
Cool. Speaking of knitting, Tess, tell us about you.
I do not knit, but my character does. My character relieves stress by creating yarn from the wool from her sheep and then knitting it into socks, and by wearing dry socks when she goes to bed. That's how she relieves stress.
That's amazing.
That's awesome stress relief.
So it was like really kismet with you going to sleep and you actually knitting.
Yeah, well,
A sock.
I'm darning a sock. I'm reinforcing the ball of the.
Pretty nice.
The
When I
well-webbed
darn-
sock.
I like to use a thread that does not match, and then the next time I darn the socks, I use a different color thread, so it all kind of patches. Do you do that too?
Oh yeah, the visible mending thing. I love it. I love it. I've been using this gold thread recently. It's really fun. But this one I just happen to have some that matches almost exactly.
Aww.
So
Oh, that is
so
really
I was
close.
like, might as well.
All right, Cass.
Sorry.
Yes.
You got me talking about my sock.
Yeah, you started with the knitting and then that's where it went. I'm Kess. I live in Bellingham, Washington. I actually used to work with Z. I probably have not seen him for a decade.
We played werewolf together,
Oh wow.
No, we didn't.
didn't we?
No.
Did you not play the werewolf game in Bellingham?
I mean, there's been more than one, but
The one with it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure we did at some point.
I don't think so because I've only played it twice, and one was a LARP, and one was
It was the
you were not
LARP. The LARP.
Okay, but that was like just a few years ago, and you didn't live here.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, you remember because I always play Red Talon. And what's funny is that in real life, I'm the complete opposite. I actually work in IT for a tech company. So I work for an artificial intelligence company. So very much a glasswalker in that sense.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I went to film school, and Z and I also, you randomly showed up at my house for a Michelle shoot. So that's how we were like, oh, we work together. I live here. That's weird. Okay, come on in. Yeah, and then I think we did another witch demon short for her as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I
Where
thought
the red body paint that was
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. Yeah.
where I thought I was coming in to be crew because that's what I do. And then she's like, do you have any clothes that make you like a witch? I'm like, excuse me?
I actually have a really good cackle if you want to hear it.
I do.
Oh, I love
Wow.
that.
Thank you.
That's like classic Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
Oh,
Great.
That's perfect for a
That's
Bible
great.
degree.
All right, Jamie, who the fuck are you?
Hey, I'm Jamie. Gosh, I met Z a billion years ago. You know, when we first discovered
You look
dirt
good
and
for your
stuff.
age.
I'm old.
Thanks. Yeah. Gosh, it was back in Whidbey, what, 20 years ago now? Give or take?
Yeah, it was actually, I'd say it's closer to 21 years ago.
Well, Smalls is 19 and I was pregnant. So
Okay, so 20.
yeah, look at us. 2 decades and stuff.
Yep.
Former military spouse. My spouse recently retired. We're settled currently in Maryland. So I'm on the East Coast. It's late. Yeah, it's all good. I don't knit. I don't crochet. I don't really do a whole lot of crafts.
Do you eat?
I do paint minis and I cook a lot.
Cool.
So there's that. It's me. Hi. Feel free to
Juliana.
ask me questions in Discord so I can answer them tomorrow.
Send
Also,
us
I'm the
pictures
note
of your
taker.
minis. You want
Oh, okay.
pictures of your minis.
Yes, yes.
Please.
Yeah, for sure. Love pictures
Juliana's
of
next.
minis. This is my second campaign, and both of them have been with Walter as the DM, and he's been really incredible. I am here in Anchorage, Alaska. My first character was the most bitchiest person on the planet, and I had such a good time playing her. It was so much fun. I was like, if I can be an asshole like Logan in real life, oh my goodness. And so playing Quenahog in this campaign is such 180 degrees where I have to be chipper and helpful and playful, and I'm like,
your portrayal of Quinn.
thank you. I'm like, I really have to, like, I'm not an asshole. I'm a good creature. Yeah, it's been so much fun, and I'm so glad all of you other ladies are here joining with us. Like, holy moly, it really like fulfills this campaign out, I feel like.
If somebody asked me 10 years ago if it was possible to fill a D&D game with just girls, I would have said absolutely not. Not that many play. But today, like, look at us.
Today, in your most scary campaign. I was
Right?
just telling Bailey earlier, I was like, this is all girls, and we just had 4 more girls joining, and all the boys declined because it was too scary, and it's
Yeah,
pretty
that is
badass.
true, actually. I did not plan for this game to be all girls. Just all of the guys that I asked to do it were like, nope, can't do it.
The line was drawn.
Yeah. They were like, that's too dark for me. I was like, whatever, wimp.
They're lost. For sure, they're lost.
Yeah. All right, Nancy.
Yeah, this is my, I think, 3rd formal D&D campaign. I've played before with like non-official D&D rule sets that were a lot more lax and a lot more kind of, I don't want to say make it up as you go because the storylines were defined, but the rules weren't quite as in-depth as D&D lore. But yeah, I met Z a long time ago. We were in a kind of a random, or at least for me, it was I'm going to explore this class. It was like a video game design course. And I, at the time, decided not to pursue that. And then I worked in television for a long time. And then I actually just recently decided to make the switch to computer science. So I'm in my senior year, kind of graduating soon. So I did the
Oh, that's
exact
awesome.
opposite thing that Z did. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that more over time. So I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska, and now I live near Seattle. And I'm going to school through WGU, and I am just doing that right now. I used to work and do both, and that's horrible. And yeah, my D&D group that I was in before just kind of recently just disbanded kind of randomly, and I was like, oh. And then Z posted, and I was like, yes. So yeah, I really enjoy D&D. I'm a little bit shy with acting, so I don't necessarily do that super well, but I like to role play and kind of at least think out like I'm the character, and definitely really enjoy the game. So oh, and I really like doing creative stuff and technical stuff, so I like to do things like digital art, and used to do animation a little bit and with work, so kind of like those two things match together, and that's my interest.
I appreciate how neat your braid is.
So thank you.
Nice. And last but certainly not least, Chrissy.
Hi. It's so cool to see all of you here. I met Z at the German club at UAA in Anchorage. And I joined a different campaign of his, and now I'm in this one. And I actually don't do horror, but I'm just really stubborn, so I'm here.
He doesn't do horror after 2.5 years of horror with me.
I still won't watch horror movies, but I'll do this.
Yeah, I won't watch horror movies either. I'm with you.
I mean, I've been a part I've been a part of 12 different haunted houses, but I'm not gonna go to one myself.
I totally relate to that, actually.
It's an acting
Is Train
experience,
to
right?
is that a horror movie?
Yes, it's my favorite movie. All right, I forgot to say my favorite horror movie. I love horror.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
It's a Korean horror movie that has a lot of screaming in it. So if you're triggered by audio, that's really going to get you.
I have 2 favorite horror movies: The Thing and
Yes, that's mine.
And
Sorry.
Alien.
The Thing is my favorite one.
Read a horror book
Also
once
Event
because I
Horizon
read
is
her
up
video.
there.
Did you guys hear the Foo Fighters just put out a new horror movie called Studio 666?
Yes.
What?
Is that
I
out?
went and I saw it like the other night, and it's
That's
actually
wild.
really good. It's like horror
Really?
comedy.
Yeah,
I do
it's
like
just the
comedy
Foo
ones.
Fighters go to a haunted house, right? Like that's
The Foo Fighters go to a like spooky haunted house to go record their a new 10th studio album,
Mhm.
and then Dave Grohl gets possessed and slaughters the rest of the band.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
it's
just
kind of like
Wow.
A really long
Like-
thriller.
Yeah,
That's
impressive
great.
practical effects if that's what people are into, and
Yes.
definitely some good comedic bits that that break the tension up.
The only
I got the
horror movie
impression
I've been
you
able
had
to
some
like.
acting background.
I forgot to stop
Just
them.
trying to diffuse the tension.
Was I right?
Come on, all my hair